KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It's a Football Friday playoff weekend. Let's get to it. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. You ready for a Football Friday?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. There it is. Yeah, some Fridays are better than others.
Fumble.
Right? I'm not sure I fumbled that, though.
No, that was on Pledge.
Okay. We'll blame Pledge. That's okay, Pledge. You get one. That's all right. That's your one.
It's a kickoff out of bounds on the opening kickoff.
I mean, I turned it on. I think you might have accidentally put your hand on the
You see how he is?
See?
You see how he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the quarterback throwing a pass. A wide receiver drops it, and he blames the
We
quarterback.
got to throw a challenge flag on the first play of the game.
Exactly.
Burn that timeout.
Jerry said you ran the wrong route.
Yeah, right. Well, I've done that before many times. But, some Fridays are better than others, and this Friday is better than a lot of Fridays because big football weekend. And I tell you what, I can't wait. There's so many great games to watch this weekend. Plus the cherry on top, Cowboys San Francisco on Sunday afternoon. And man, I'm excited about it.
Well, and again, obviously such a great marquee matchup. And I saw somebody on Twitter, I wish I remember who, but this matchup, when you're watching it and you're listening to Romo and Nance, you're just going to have to, kind of visualize, if you will, with your ears, Pat Summerall, John Madden calling this game from the broadcast booth in the sky. I mean, because it's got that written all over it. I mean, it's just that kind of weekend. Although, before we get into football, Joe, I was a little disturbed with something that just happened here at the radio station. And as a guy, I feel like I need to warn other guys out there because I didn't know this was a thing. And it's really expensive. And with Valentine's right around the corner. So Morgan, some of the ladies in the office, I had to go over there, check on something. And so I walk in and they're all surrounding Morgan's computer and they're looking at shoes online.
Okay. That's not unusual.
Very expensive shoes that I've never heard of called Golden Goose shoes.
Okay.
They're used.
And
the dirtier, the better. The more dirty these damn shoes are, the more expensive they are. And they're looking at shoes ranging from $400 to like $750. And the 750 ones, they look like crap. They're dirty. But apparently that's the in thing, guys. I've never heard of this.
Now, who wants to wear somebody else's shoes?
I'm not going to tell you to Google them because you're going to get ads that you don't want, but Google it. And you will see this crap. And it is mind-boggling. And one of the ladies in the office, Mary, her daughter has 3 pair. I'm like freaked out that all of a sudden, as you get close to like the gift holiday, you start getting hints. Dude, but apparently there's a place over near La Cantera that you buy them and they go dirty them up for you for a large fee. They're expensive. They're more expensive than most.
So do they stink?
I don't know.
I mean, do they already come with a foot smell?
The computer screen is not scratch and sniff. I have no idea. All I know is I walked in and I shouldn't have. It's like those conversations where you walk in and you shouldn't walk in on that. That's what I just did.
Well, I figured they would have the description there, right? Dirty shoes, and hey, you could get them with dirty feet smell as well.
But first off, lady shoes are expensive to begin with, right?
Yes.
Used lady shoes, which I guess is a thing, but dirty tennis shoes. I mean, like I think about like my shoes. I'm not like Rob Thompson or Rudy J. They go through. They've got shoes like ladies do. I mean, Rob's shoe collection is incredible. You will notice when we go to the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, Rob will travel with a shoe bag. He's got a suitcase just for his damn shoes, right?
Nice.
And he'll wear a different pair every day.
Okay.
I wear the same pair of shoes for about 2 years.
Yeah, so do I. At least 2 years.
And then they become grass cutting shoes. And
you cut the grass?
No, but they're there just in case I do.
I got you.
Right? There's that random extra pair of shoes just in case. And then they get thrown out. Now I'm thinking those Air Dads, is there a used place for my Air Dads with grass stains, all that good stuff?
Dude, there's not a place for the Air Dads. Now, we're probably talking about some good shoes. Right?
I don't know. I've never heard of Golden Goose shoes. And the used and the dirtier, the better.
Jason, I don't know what people pay for. You know what? My big thing was when my girls were young, they always wanted to buy jeans that had holes in them already.
Yep.
And it were like $100. And I'm like, I'm not paying $100 for jeans with holes in them. But Dad, it's the in thing. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm buying,
like James Pledger showing off his crotch on our Facebook live feed. I think he's trying to show his knee that it's been ripped, but it's just a crotch shot on our Facebook feed. Pledge.
Now,
nobody is thanking you for that.
How much did you pay for those jeans?
Probably $85.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So what did you throw up on our screen? What are those?
Balenciagas.
I don't even know what that is.
It is a shoe that costs about $800, and it looks like it's been used to mow the grass.
So that's a women's track faded sneaker in beige. Sure. That's $800. Is that on the Golden Goose site?
No.
Oh,
that's Balenciaga. It's a completely separate brand.
Well, but we're talking about Golden Goose.
I'm aware.
Show Ryan Eagle that.
I can show him Golden Goose.
And again, imagine you walk in and you know the ladies in our office.
Yeah.
All gathered around and it's like, oh crap, what did I just get myself into?
Dude, I don't understand why people do this.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, look at those.
Now, $750. I'm looking at a shoe that's got mud all over it.
And it looked like she was in the cow pasture and stepped in something.
What? Why? Somebody please tell me why you would buy a pair of shoes that look like that.
Well, everybody listening to us right now is smart. Now, so they didn't. But what's going to happen is she is going to drop you a hint. And I am trying to make sure you are not blindsided by this.
Well, first of all, Valentine's Day, and we can talk about that as it's close. I don't like Valentine's Day. All right, it's just some florist invented that thing to make money. Okay, so I'm not buying a pair of $750 shoes, even if they were brand new.
You say that now, you're a newlywed. This is your first Valentine's Day as a married couple. You've got to go above and beyond. No, I'm near 26. You'll be lucky to get a card.
I don't do Valentine's Day. Maggie knows that. Although I'll have to do something, right?
Yes,
but
yes, I mean, you will.
I'll have to do something. But man, I can't believe what people pay for.
Isn't that the most crazy? Like I said, I walked in and it was just like totally has thrown me because I know what's coming. I know that all of a sudden I'm going to hear Golden Goose.
Who? Joanna's going to do that?
I would like to think not, but yes. And if not her,
Erica.
Yeah, definitely Erica.
Yeah, Erica could do that. I could see that. In fact, I'm going to call her after the show and say, hey, Erica.
Well, then I'm going to call Casey.
Ask your dad.
I'll call Casey
for these Golden Goose shoes.
I think Casey needs a pair. You got 5 daughters, man. Be careful.
Well, I already told you about the jeans. I didn't do that. I stuck with it. I got called every name in the book. They were mad at me for days.
I have bought more holy jeans than I know what to do with.
Dude, I'm not doing that.
Or they ripped up short shorts.
Buy a pair of Levi's and get the scissors out.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It is the same.
It's not the same.
It's exactly the same.
It's not the same, Dad.
I'm telling you, it's the same.
But these Golden Goose things, man. And the way these ladies in the office were hovering around. And you walk in and they all have this look on their face. Like I thought I was going to see something on the screen I'm not supposed to see. And maybe I was, but you know what I'm saying?
Chippendales or something, right?
It was just like, uh-oh, what did I just walk into here? It was insane. It is a football Friday. We've got a lot to talk about today. The Moose, Daryl Johnston will join us coming up at 4:30. A Football Friday edition of Mondays with the Moose. We'll talk with Jon Machota coming up at 5:30 and the Moose at 4:30 in about 20 minutes from right now. And we'll be all over Cowboys 49ers. And you think about this game, Joe, the key for the Dallas Cowboys, it's all about the offensive line, is it not?
Absolutely.
Run the ball, stop the run.
That's exactly right, because the 49ers want to run the football. That's what they do. And they want to keep the ball out of the hands of that powerful Cowboys offense, right? That's what you want to do. Run the football, pound it, pound it, pound it. And they've got a pretty good pass rush and a pretty good run defense. So, yeah, that Cowboys offensive line has got to be on its toes for a couple of reasons, Jason. They've got to play well, obviously, but they've got to stay away from those stupid holding penalties that they've been so famous for the last couple of games.
Which is unfortunate. Mike McCarthy, when he joined Rob and Rudy this morning on R&R in the Morning, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, really did sum it up when he talked about this game being won in the trenches.
Well, I mean, the offensive line, If you just look at the battles of their offensive line versus our defensive line and vice versa, I mean, that's going to be a big focal point for the success of the game. I mean, it always starts up front, but I mean, if you look at just, when you just look at the depth charts and you start the personnel breakdown, where do they spend their money? I mean, that's the first thing, that we look at as a coaching staff. And obviously they got tremendous resources in both their offensive and defensive lines. So, so that's part of the challenge. We love our matchups. LC and Tyron have big matchups, the guys inside. So it's playoff football. I mean, there's, you're not putting up, profile tapes and objectives and saying, hey, we're so much better in this area. It's, you don't get to this part of the season. So you got to beat the best. You got to beat the best doing your best. So, and that's what this time of year is all about.
It's interesting when you hear Mike McCarthy and what he was saying with Rob and Rudy this morning, and you can listen to the entire interview on the audio vault at sasportstar.com. Look where they invest their money.
Yeah.
And then compare where the Cowboys have invested their money.
Well, there for a while, the Cowboys, they built that offensive line, right? I mean, that's what they did. And for a while, it was one of the best in the league. What, 2 or 3 years? Mm-hmm. Best in the league, offensive line. Yeah. Okay. So they did that, and it paid dividends, although it didn't get them to a Super Bowl. However, they had the best offensive line in the league. So, that's where you put your money. And I think, teams are realizing, you got the sexy wide receiver, the quarterback, the running back, but if you don't have that offensive line, none of those guys can do what they're supposed to do. So that's where you do it. The defensive line's the same, Jason.
It really is. And again, I look at where the Cowboys, obviously, you've got a D-Law, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith getting up there in age. And that is a bit of a concern. And, it's interesting because, this time of year, you hang on every word coming from a coach. You hang on every word coming from a player. I don't know that I count this as trash talk from Nick Bosa of the San Francisco 49ers, but some are saying this is trash talk.
They're both very solid players. Obviously, Tyron's had a Hall of Fame career, I think. And him and Trent have been the best tackles in the league for a long time. But they're definitely beatable. There's tape on them getting beat, and we're trying to do the same. But they've definitely been in and out of the lineup a lot this year and the past years. So just game plan is to make them work.
Wow.
Is Bosa trash talking or speaking the truth? There is tape of Tyron Smith getting beat.
He's talking the truth. I mean, and he's a confident player. Obviously, you can hear the confidence. I look at that as just, look, we can beat these guys. I think San Francisco is a very confident football team going into this football game, and that's to a man. That's all of them, offense, defense, or whatever. And they believe that they can go into AT&T Stadium and get the W and move on in the playoffs. They're confident. And why not? What have they won? 5 of 7, 6 of 8? I'm not sure exactly what the exact number is.
I think both. I mean, they are a hot team coming in. They've got a quarterback who is interesting when you look at Jimmy G, because Jimmy G, when you go inside some of the numbers and where the Cowboys are going to be successful is if they're able to turn them over, if they can get some interceptions, and Diggs has got to be ready to feast. 68% of Garoppolo's passes were thrown between the numbers this season, the highest rate by anyone in a season over the last 15 years. But it's feast or famine, because he's also tied for the third most interceptions trying to throw it between the numbers. And the Cowboys have an opportunistic defense. So you would say the edge there has to go to the Dallas Cowboys on the defensive side.
But you've got to stop the run. Garoppolo doesn't want to throw the football. And the Cowboys need to, obviously, I'm saying the obvious here, but the Cowboys need to get a lead. That's exactly what they need to do to force Garoppolo to have to throw the football. Because if they're running up and down the field all day long, the Cowboys are going to be in deep trouble.
I try to look inside some of the numbers for this game. What does Vegas say? Over under at 51. That's a fairly low scoring football game, is it not?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about the two offenses that are going to be in this game. The Cowboys should be able to run the ball. they should be able to throw the ball against a San Francisco secondary that gives up a lot of passing, especially outside the numbers, which is where Dak tends to throw the football. So I look at this game and I think high scoring, and then I look at Vegas and they've got an over under at 51. That part doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Dak's got to have time to throw the football. And one of the strengths of that 49er defense is their pass rush. So they're going to try and get after Dak Prescott, and that obviously helps the secondary if they can get some pressure on Dak. So again, it all comes back to that offensive line. Whether you want to run the football, throw the football, whatever you want to do, that offensive line has got to perform, and they have got to be at the top of their game. And that's where it's going to be won or lost.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. If you want to tell us your thoughts on the Cowboys-Niners, easy to do on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter. He is at JoeKens5. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. I look at Cowboys-Niners as the marquee game of the year. And one of the things that I like is when you look at all the different websites and they're picking the games, for the most part, it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
And not just for Cowboys-Niners, but for most of the games. Cincy, Vegas, New England, Buffalo on Saturday, both those should be entertaining football games.
Yeah, what a great appetizer for the main course on Sunday. I think Saturday is going to be a great day of football with both of those football games, and either one of them could go either way. And it's going to be fun to watch. I've already told you that I'm looking forward to that Saturday night game between the Pats and the Bills because I think that's going to be a great football team. Both of those teams know each other very well. They've already played twice this year. And then you've got Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick in the playoffs is a very difficult man to beat.
I want to ask you about Bill real quick. Why does he not get any love this year for Coach of the Year?
Boy, that's a great question. And he's done a terrific job. He really has done a great job.
When you look at this team with a rookie quarterback, and, last year, all the guys that, opted out because of COVID, then you've got the, coming back this year, Vrabel gets a lot of love and rightfully so. He's got the number one team in the AFC, the number one seed, your Tennessee Titans, Joe Reinagle.
Well, thank you, Jason.
And I look at Vegas, Rich Bisaccia taking over that mess, kind of like when Bruce Arians took over the Colts, he ended up winning Coach of the Year that year. I think Rich is probably in the running for that. Why nobody is talking about Bill Belichick and what he has been able to do with a rookie quarterback? I don't know that many expected them to be in the postseason.
No, I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody expected Jones to play as well as he had, their quarterback. Alabama quarterbacks are kind of hit and miss, right?
Yes, they've been missed.
Most of the time they're a miss.
Since Joe Namath, most Alabama quarterbacks have been a miss in the NFL.
And that's crazy. So you can say Jalen Hurts, he was half Alabama, half Oklahoma. So I don't know. Maybe it was the Oklahoma side of him that prepared him for the NFL, but he's doing okay.
But
yeah, I still think he's a bust. I just don't think he's going to do anything in the league long term. He's been adequate there, I guess. But Jones, I think, is going to be a solid quarterback for that team. And I think Belichick has done a good job with him as well, or his coaching staff, certainly.
Well, and I think it just shows with a lot of these quarterbacks get into the right system.
Right.
And when you go back to the draft, when the Patriots waited, they didn't move up. They weren't worried that somebody else was going to go up and snag them. They knew who they wanted, and they waited and got the guy that they want. And of all the rookie quarterbacks, he's playing the best.
He is playing the best, but
in the right system.
He
won a game throwing 3 passes.
Right. Well, yeah, but that's what it dictated, right?
Yep.
With the wind blowing in Buffalo, and again, the weather is not going to be ideal in Buffalo, right? 0 degrees, I think, 2 degrees, something like
Viagra
that.
And go play.
Right, go play, and it's going to be interesting to see how he performs in the playoffs. This is his first opportunity in the postseason, and it's a different ball game, obviously. And you get to the playoffs. Every play means something, and it's going to be interesting how the young man handles it.
And when I look at a coach getting a team prepared, Bill Belichick, hard to bet against him. We'll make our predictions coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We're kind of setting the table for everything that we're going to see on Sunday. The early game, Tampa Bay at Philadelphia. That's the one game that you look at it and you sit there and you go, that should be an easy win for Tampa Bay. Yet,
right.
And most people are picking Tampa Bay to win that game. But I'm surprised to see how many people think that's going to be a close game.
I saw one guy today, and I can't recall his name, said that Philadelphia has absolutely no shot to win that football game. I disagree with that because Tampa Bay's a little bit banged up, although they are getting some guys back this week. But Tampa Bay should win that game. They should win it by double digits. Philly, I just don't know how good they are. If they can run the football on Tampa Bay, they'll be okay. But again, if the Bucs can force Jalen Hurts to beat them,
isn't that the problem though? I mean, Philly's strength is running the football. Tampa Bay's strength is stopping the run.
Yeah.
And so it's there. Pittsburgh, Kansas City in the nightcap. Not many are giving Pittsburgh a chance in this game. Rightfully so.
What do you mean not many? Have you heard anyone giving Pittsburgh a chance in this game?
Not even Pittsburgh.
No.
Not even Pittsburgh. They're going out there to have fun. and Pittsburgh and, basically the state of Pennsylvania, both Pittsburgh and Philly, nobody's giving them a shot.
No.
Those are the most dangerous teams. Go out there loose and have fun. There's zero pressure on these guys.
Jason.
What?
Come on. All right, now Philly, I'll give you, maybe there's a chance outside. Pittsburgh, I mean, Kansas City's going to have to sleep late, miss the alarm clock to lose that football game.
But we've seen Kansas City beat themselves enough this year. If they beat themselves and let Pittsburgh hang around, there's a chance. But I'm with you. Kansas City should win that game going away. And then the Monday night game, Arizona at the LA Rams.
Another good football game that I'm looking forward to. Rams, Cardinals. They've met a couple of times this year too, right? So you've got another 3-timer there. So man, I tell you what, just the matchups this weekend, except for Pittsburgh, Kansas City, are outstanding, and I'm looking forward to really watching all of them. I think it's going to just be what a great weekend of pro football.
Well, and again, you look at it, it's not like first round of the NBA playoffs where the 1-8, because a lot of times it's just a dog.
Yeah,
like. I'm not expecting any of these games to be total blowouts. A team might end up winning by double digits outside of the Pittsburgh Kansas City game. That could get ugly, but I don't know that Mike Tomlin will let that happen. You know what I mean?
Well, unless he's going to put on a uniform and play, I don't think he has a lot of choice in that matter.
I just playoff football. I don't know what the weather is in Kansas City on a Saturday night or a Sunday night, but it's just like every one of these matchups just look fantastic. The way things have certainly played out. And of course, none bigger than San Francisco and Dallas.
I'm looking forward to it, Jason. And it is Friday, and that means it starts tomorrow. Let's go.
All weekend, a football Friday. We'll get into Spurs as well. Spurs and Cavaliers, they are playing tonight down at the AT&T Center. So we'll get you covered talking some Spurs and Cavs. There's even a trade rumor involving a member of the Spurs we'll talk about coming up in the show. Again, Jon Machota will join us at 5:30. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, he will join us coming up in just a couple of minutes. If you've struggled with dental problems all your life, you need to know about Dr. Mark Havercorn over at River City Oral Surgery. Have you had cavities followed by fillings, more fillings, root canals, and crowns, only to have the pain come back? You know what I'm talking about. Stop spending lots of money at the dentist every few years only to have it fail. Dental implants at River City Oral Surgery could be the solution. River City Oral Surgery offers direct patient care, and prices, they're listed right on the website, rivercityoms.com. $1,300 per dental implant, and that includes your exam, x-ray, and post-op care. $20,900 to replace all the teeth in one jaw with implant teeth, and that includes everything from start to finish. Need a tooth pulled? It's $325. For wisdom teeth, it's $1,000. Financing is available. You don't need a referral. You just call and make an appointment. Imagine no more tooth pain. Call 210-778-0002. 778-0002 for River City Oral Surgery, or go to the website rivercityoms.com. The Moose, Daryl Johnston, joins us next to talk Cowboys and Niners right after Sports Center from James Pledger.
Thanks a lot, Jason. The playoffs begin Sunday for the Dallas Cowboys as they welcome the San Francisco 49ers into Jerry World. Dallas went 12-5 and won the NFC East, while San Francisco won 7 of their last 9 and finished 10 and 7, earning a wild card berth. Kickoff from AT&T Stadium is set for 3:30 Sunday afternoon, and it's a game you can actually catch right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star. It all starts at 2:30 with the pregame. In college football news, former Texas Longhorn running back, now USC Trojan Keontae Ingram, who had a career-high 911 yards and 5 touchdowns this past season, has declared for the NFL Draft. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to snap a 4-game losing streak as they return to action to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tip-off from the AT&T Center is set for 7:30 tonight, and Game Night San Antonio helps to get you ready for it on the Blitz. In other news, the Toronto Raptors are interested in training for Spurs big man Jakob Hurtles, this according to multiple reports. Hurtles was originally with the Raptors before coming over to San Antonio in the DeMar DeRozan and a part of the Kawhi Leonard deal. The NBA trade deadline is under a month away, February the 10th. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
BetOnline.net would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the football playoffs and beyond. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports info, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline.net has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it going to work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio, has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump, with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Lennox. A Friday edition of Mondays with the Moose. Daryl Johnston, former Cowboys Super Bowl champion, analyst with Fox Sports, joining us now. And Moose, I tell you what, you see Cowboys, Niners, how many memories come flooding back for you?
Yeah. Those were some amazing games back then. So I'm surprised that this is the first divisional. Is this really the first divisional matchup in the playoffs? For wild card? Anything below
Yeah.
For Dallas, San Francisco, is this nothing but conference championship games?
It is crazy. And the first time in a wild card round that this many Super Bowl champions have played with or teams with at least 5 Super Bowls.
Wow. Good stuff.
Well, I mean, Daryl, it is. It's a cherry on top of a great weekend. There's a lot of good football, but everybody, of course, is looking at this matchup for a number of reasons. I mean, it's just the history of the whole thing, and just it's two good teams going at each other. And I tell you what, a lot of folks are split on this game, thinking that the 49ers might not have been the best matchup for the Cowboys. How do you see it?
I kind of feel the same way. I think this is a very, very challenging opening game in the playoffs. And, to be a 3-6 matchup, it's even a little bit more surprising, but it's kind of that situation where, teams get hot during that end of the season run and have a great sense of confidence going into playoffs. I'm working with Tony Siragusa and him saying how important that was for the 2000 Ravens, where they didn't want the bye week. They felt they were playing so well, they just wanted to keep playing. So you had a team get on a really great run. At the end of that, we've seen the Giants, go on great runs to win their Super Bowls as wild card teams. So that's my fear with San Francisco right now is, they looked really good against the Los Angeles Rams. And in his career, Sean McVay had never lost a game that he was leading at halftime. And they weren't just up a couple of points. I mean, they were up 17-3. And they were up 17-0 late in that first half. That mistake on the sack gave San Francisco that drive to go down the field and get those 3 points. And then coming out in the second half, they were a completely different team. So, this is a 49er team that is playing well, has got a ton of confidence, and I think in a lot of areas is a very difficult matchup for Dallas.
And you look at the areas, obviously, I mean, as simple as it is, Daryl, I mean, it's in the trenches, Cowboys have to run the ball and stop the run. And obviously that's easier said than done, but is it really just that simple for the Dallas Cowboys in this matchup?
Well, you know what, Jason, I don't know. I mean, you've got to kind of, what's the balance going to be? What is the balance that day in Mike McCarthy's mind and Kellen Moore's mind? What it's never 50-50, but which way is it going to tip? What is the ratio going to be? I think it needs to tip a little bit past. I really do. That's going to be the area where the matchup is that favors Dallas. There's some injuries in the secondary for San Francisco. That front is outstanding. Now, the question is, can you be patient enough and execute well enough to be able to move the ball down the field? Because the one thing that San Francisco will do is they will play zone. They'll play that cover 2 shell, and they're going to prevent the big play from happening. They're going to challenge you to be patient and run the ball, convert first downs, not make a mistake, not have a holding penalty, not have a false start, don't get behind the chains. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, the run game has to be a part of that because you don't want to become one-dimensional. But I really feel that Dallas to win this game have to be very effective and moving that ball steadily down the field.
On the other side of the coin, Daryl, you got to look at the San Francisco 49ers, and you're talking about running the football. That's what they want to do. But I would assume if you're the Cowboys, you got to do everything you can to try and slow that down and force the game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands.
Absolutely. That everything builds off the run game. Now, there was a meeting today in San Francisco, and it's the run game install. And what Kyle Shanahan does in that meeting is he goes over how establishing the run and the runs that they're going to use is the foundation of the game plan and how everything comes off of that. So your play actions, your RPOs, everything that they're going to use off that run game, he'll tie it all together today so the guys have a really good feel for what they're trying to accomplish, during the course of the game. And that's where everything kind of comes off of for this team. We've heard, Kyle Shanahan talk about, hey, we're going to run it 40 plus against the Rams. Last time they played in that final game, it was going to be 30 plus. He's going to have a target, and I just wonder what that target is for Dallas. And that'll kind of give you an idea of where he thinks that matchup is. But, the way they do this, the way they attack the edges, the unique style of blocking with Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle, the physicality of this wide receiver group, blocking down the field. Everybody, all 11 or 10 of the 11, we'll take Jimmy Garoppolo out of it. Those other 10 guys on that offensive side of the ball, they're all blockers. And that's part of being a cog in that San Francisco offense. So, don't think you're going to shut this run game down. But can you get Kyle Shanahan to the point where he backs off that number that he wants to run the ball to be successful? And then the big thing is what I'm waiting for is how does Dan Quinn defend the RPO and the play action? Because when you watch Jimmy Garoppolo, that ball's coming into the middle of the field.
Yep.
It's never really outside the hash. It's definitely not really outside the number. So what is he going to do in that regard? How are they going to play that? I would love to see Micah Parsons moved into the middle. I really would, because and let him flow both sides, because they're an outside zone team. You're going to have that double team coming, setting that edge is going to be difficult. You got physical guys at the wide receiver position getting into your cornerbacks and your safety area. I think the athleticism of Micah Parsons in the middle linebacker position and being able to track that stuff from the inside out would be huge.
The Moose, Daryl Johnston, joining us here on the Blitz, 3-time Super Bowl champ with the Dallas Cowboys. You talk about the versatility of Micah Parsons on the defensive side. For San Francisco, they got a pretty versatile weapon in Deebo Samuel. How do the Cowboys defend Deebo?
Yeah, right. You better get ready to tackle him. I think I saw he's averaging about 6 carries a game now. There was a game a couple of weeks back where he was a little bit higher than that. But Deebo Samuel is very unique. And that's one of the things that really makes this offense hard to slow down when you talk about the running game, because the formation and the personnel groups are going to tell you one thing, and they're still going to be able to run out of that and do some different things, whether it's, motioning Deebo back into the backfield or just lining him up there. For Dallas, they're going to have to be really, really good with their eyes, with their communication, and getting information out pre-snap. What that personnel group is. Dan Quinn is going to have them dialed in on what the personnels are, what the formations are, and what they can expect to come out of that. So, that recognition pre-snap and getting that information out from the defensive line to the linebacker level, setting those edges, secondary run support coming inside. Everybody's got to be on the same page. So the communication pre-snap will be really important for Dallas as well.
Daryl, what's it like for some of those players? Obviously, the regular season's over. You're going into the playoffs. I mean, what's the feeling on a Friday before a big Sunday playoff football game?
One of the things I thought Jimmy Johnston did a great job when he was our coach was, kind of keeping everything the same. It was a consistency with our preparation during the course of the season and into the playoffs. We never felt like, one game was bigger than the other. He put a tremendous amount of value on every single game we played. And he expected our play to be reflective of that. There was a standard that he would hold us to. If you played at that level, you'd be successful in the regular season, you'd be successful in the playoffs. So for us, even going out to San Francisco for the championship game that first time, after the 92 season, for the youngest team in the NFL, we went out there confident. We didn't go out there nervous. We all had butterflies going out on the field, but you got to have those or you're in the wrong business. But we went out, and when we took that field against that really veteran group at San Francisco that I'm sure everybody felt was the best team in the NFL that year, and played what I've always considered to be one of our best game as a group at that time. I'm almost positive we were +4 in the turnover ratio, and we needed that in that game because that's how good San Francisco was. And, we were hanging on at the end there. That big pass play to Alvin Harper, to start that drive in the fourth quarter, if we go 3 and out or we don't get a first down there, we give that ball back to San Francisco. They were coming down the field. They had gotten into a great rhythm. So I think that was the best thing that Jimmy did for us is we just always had that sense that every game was critically important. The finality of the loss is what really kind of drives you. That's the one big emotional thing is that you're not showing up Monday to fix the corrections and get ready for the next opponent. It's over. It's just, that finality of losing a playoff game is kind of devastating. It really stings when that happens. So that's the one motivating factor is you don't want to experience that feeling of the finality at the end of the year.
Especially with a confident group like the Cowboys at least seem to be when they're talking to the media this week. Dak Prescott, all the guys up there. In one area, Moose, and take us inside the locker room, honestly. Greg Zuerlein has missed more kicks than any other kicker over the last 2 years with 22, whether it's an extra point or a field goal. He's missed in 4 straight games. While all the Cowboys say they're confident in their teammate, are they really?
Well, you have to be because there's no other alternative. So you're going to trust Greg Zuerlein that he's going to get this sorted out. But I remember we did a Bears game years ago. I think it was Matt Nagy's first year there when they had the really good season. And Cody Parker was struggling at the time. I think he missed 3 field goals in the game that we did. And we kind of talked about it there. They had a really good defense. They had a strong offense. They were a team that could get into the playoffs and do some damage. But we actually said it'd be a shame if the season ended due to a missed field goal when that was an issue for you all season long, and you never got your kicker back in line or you didn't make a change. And that's my biggest fear for Dallas. Is I think everybody feels this is going to be the closest game of the weekend. It could come down to an extra point. It could come down to a missed PAT that forces you to do something different offensively because you're chasing points. And that's what happens when you leave those points off the board. You end up starting to chase them, and all of a sudden you're making different decisions than you would have. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm concerned about going into this game is the performance of Greg Zuerlein, because as you pointed out, just 4 consecutive games with misses. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a PAT or a field goal. He struggled in both of those areas, and not long distance. It's when you're talking PATs, you're talking 33 yards. That gets into a kicker's head. And, I've seen a couple that have gone in, but they were mishit. I've seen a couple of line drives coming in that luckily got past the line of scrimmage. But I think that's something that Dallas outwardly will say we have confidence in him, but deep down inside, I think everybody's a little nervous about how he's going to perform.
Well, Daryl, I got to ask you about that too, because obviously Greg Zuerlein is hearing all of this too from the fans and from the radio talk show hosts like us and the analysts like you, and everybody's a little worried about it. I mean, he's hearing that stuff too. What kind of an attitude, or is there anything that you can do for Greg Zuerlein this week heading into this ball game to kind of get his confidence up?
Yeah, the big thing is for them just to be in a good place mentally going out onto the field. So, whatever he has to do, don't change your routine. Kickers they're different people.
Like fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got to do a lot of this on his own. This is all up to him. It's not a question of of the snap hold. It's all come down to the kick. That mechanism, that 3-part mechanism has been functioning well. It's just been misses on his part. So, he's got to come into the game in a good place. He's not going to be listening to all the outside noise. But the big thing for me is, he's had a really good career. Just have the confidence to go out there and just, hit the ball pure. That's all you're there for. And you've got a critical role. You've got a critical job. But it's going to be interesting, because if it, God forbid, it does happen similar to what happened to the Bears, where this has been an issue all season long and we didn't get it remedied, and that knocks you out of the playoffs. That's going to be a bitter pill.
The Moose, Daryl Johnston, joining us here on the Blitz, a Friday edition of Mondays with the Moose. So, Daryl, in a couple of days on Monday, when we talk to you, are we talking about a Cowboys win or what went wrong?
I've had when the pairings came out and I looked at it, I was like, wow, that is a really, really difficult matchup. They've got to be able to get to Jimmy Garoppolo and get him uncomfortable. When he's able to play clean and lean on that run game and not have to kind of, make some critical plays here and there, that's when that offense and that team gets rolling. If you can get him a little nervous in the pocket, get him to rush his process a little bit, he has the tendency to throw some interceptions. Now, during this role that they've been on, he's been really, really good, and that's when this team is dangerous. So, what can Dallas do to get Jimmy Garoppolo uncomfortable in the pocket? How do they match up on the outside? But like I said, everything's going to come off that run game. You've got to get Kyle Shanahan if he's coming into this game, hoping to have 25 or 30 carries. How can we shrink that number? How can we get him uncomfortable in that plan where he wants to start putting a little bit more weight on Jimmy Garoppolo? If they can play that style, then Dallas has a chance. And they've got to be clean. One of my bigger concerns is we thought we had everything figured out, Christmas night after Washington, right? 56 points, we're good. It's they're playing against Arizona, and you're wondering what happened. That 51-point game against Philadelphia for me is not a cure-all. That was a team that had, players in the secondary that if they were the starters, I think that Dak Prescott has a couple of interceptions. He was still not in sync in a rhythm where he was hitting the guys on the fly. It's hitting them in stride. There was a little bit of guys waiting. It was on the back shoulder. And if you've got good players out there, there was an opportunity for some interceptions. So, let's not look at that 51-point output against Philadelphia. Let's understand how that happened. There's a lot of starters that weren't on the field that day for Philadelphia, and there's still some issues with that offense. It hasn't been firing on all cylinders down the stretch.
We'll see if it does on Sunday. Daryl Johnston, the Moose, as he joins us every week here on the Blitz, talking to us today. We'll talk to him again on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you in a couple of days, Daryl.
Look forward to it. You guys enjoy the weekend and the games as well.
Appreciate it. The Moose, Daryl Johnston. Friday edition of Mondays with the Moose. He doesn't sound overly confident in the Cowboys.
Yeah, he doesn't sound overly confident at all. But can I just tell you this? When he's talking about that NFC Championship game in San Francisco, man, I got goosebumps. Did you? I mean, I was like, oh, man, I got goosebumps. And it was just like, I can remember that game. You just go back to that. I love hearing from guys that have been in the trenches, that have been in the battles, and they know what's going on. They know the mentality. And I tell you what, there's nobody better than Daryl Moose Johnston.
And we'll talk to him Monday about what we see on Sunday. Coming up, Spurs, they're in action tonight. There's some trade rumors involving the San Antonio Spurs that we will get into. It is a Friday. You have your weekend plans, but none of you plan on getting arrested, but some of you will. Maybe it's not you, but you get a phone call from a family member, a friend. You want to get them out of jail, or if it's you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, a free shuttle service. They're open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas. License number 149. Whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, right here in San Antonio, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action. All three, got it! College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Garageization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Hello, this is Discover, and we take customer service very seriously. We know that if you have a question or concern about your credit card, that's a serious matter, and you need to talk to a real person about it. So we offer around-the-clock access to seriously talented representatives in the USA. Again, it's a serious endeavor. The only funny thing about it is Bob. If you call us and Bob answers, you're in for a treat. Get 100% US-based customer service and talk to a real person day or night. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Viva Fitness! Fiesta Fit Fest is coming to San Antonio, April 8th through the 10th. Get geared up to party and celebrate all things fitness. Headlined by Letap San Antonio, a Tour de France cycling event. Cyclists of all ages. The Letap San Antonio, presented by HEB, is for you. Celebrate the only Tour de France amateur cycling event in the U.S. in 2022. Register today at FiestaFitFest.com. Sponsored by HEB, Thomas J. Henry, Michelob Ultra, Valero, University Health, and Expel.
Sunday, the Cowboys are digging for a win against the 49ers. Pregame 2:30, kickoff 3:30, live from AT&T Stadium on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Opinions. We got them. Keep them coming. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Yeah, we got opinions. It's what we do. It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. He's the opinionated Joe Reinagel from Ken 5.
Happy to be opinionated, too. You know, it's a little bit different than it is on that TV screen, so it's good. Hey, did you know that there's a Cowboys football game on Sunday?
You know, I've heard something about it.
I think we've talked about it a time or two. I'm not sure if we have. They're actually playing the San Francisco 49ers.
What?
Can you believe that? And it's a playoff game.
How about them Cowboys?
Playoffs? Yeah, so that's
That
good.
was bad.
Hey, I know. Well, that's what I do, okay? Hey, you can listen to that game right here on ESPN 1250 or 94.5 FM.
You
can
still
do that.
got to look at notes to see where you work, San Antonio Sports Star?
Well, just the FM. I got the AM 1250, right?
Well, don't get used to the FM because we're moving to 103.3.
So that's going to take me another
in
6
February,
months, right, to get used to that. But you can't listen to it. All the coverage starts right here at 2:30. Pregame, then the kickoff, of course, from AT&T Stadium at 3:30. Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is right here. It is San Antonio Sports Star, and it's brought to you by AA Best Bell Bonds and powered by Ewald Kubota. I cannot wait.
Spurs Cavs tonight down at the AT&T Center. Haven't heard if McDermott's going to play tonight, but he's not on the injury report.
So he's probably going to play. I mean, the guy was out with COVID for what, a month?
I don't know if it was a whole month, but it feels that way.
It does.
I mean, you know, a week in Detroit's like a month, all right? Especially if you're stuck in a hotel.
Yes. Well, I hope he's back, and I think everybody's going to be back. I haven't seen the injury report, and we'll look that up as we get closer to tip-off tonight. But, Derek White, all of those guys that ought to be coming off that COVID list pretty soon. So that's certainly going to help the Spurs team, and they need all the help they can get right now.
Well, definitely, and I had it earlier. You've got Collins is still out. Trey Jones is out. Derek White is out. Wieskamp is out. Eubanks is available.
Oh, well, there you go. Right?
You might need all your bigs because, Mark Stein is reporting that Toronto is interested in Jakob Hurtles as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. And it's weird this season, I guess now that we're in January, mid-January, as you get closer to the All-Star break, closer to the trade deadline, we've got to start having those conversations that I hope Brian Wright and RC and Pop have been having. Phones are ringing. But, it's interesting that Toronto, who, sent Jakob to San Antonio with DeMar DeRozan for that dude that we don't talk about, the idea they're interested in getting him back. And the only one that I'm for sure is probably going to go, and I say for sure, I'm probably in the same sentence, but Thad Young is the only guy that I'm sure won't finish the season here. Pop will set that man free and trade him to a contender for a bag of chips.
Yeah, I think he will, and good for Thaddeus Young because he deserves that opportunity. He's getting long in the tooth, and his NBA career is not going to be that much longer. But, I love Mark Stein. I really do. And this story is great for you and I, Jason. It's good for all of media that covers the NBA and the San Antonio Spurs. But, he may have overheard a conversation or had a phone call with the GM and said, that Jakob Hurtles would fit in pretty nice here for a playoff run.
Predictions on the NFL playoffs. Joe and I will make ours as we continue here on the Blitz. If you're going to do some car shopping this weekend, you need to get into Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex. No better place to go get a new vehicle in San Antonio than Ancira, and I know that firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. You're going to get the best in customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. Great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
We promise to never waste your time on nonsense. Know who's stealing the snacks in your break room, blah, blah, blah. We talk about the NBA and a lot of it.
That's today's NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, you look around the league and you almost need an updated roster.
Get the latest from around the league from the experts and analysts who know.
Let them play ball. They're going to be fine. Let's go.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
We're growing fast. And I stopped working weekends, thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/radar. Head to netsuite.com/radar for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Contaire.
Was the guy driving the company van next to you too busy taking the infamous car selfie for his dating app when he wrecked into you? He's still single, but now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303, 24 hours a day.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on a Football Friday. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix.
Dude, I still have goosebumps thinking about Moose and the story he told.
Daryl Johnston.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's as genuine as they come. The wonderful 53 days of the Alliance of American Football League. The traveling with him, with the Commanders, and conversations at bars or restaurants on the road, or just hanging out with them, or the coaches show that we would do. But it was the time away from the microphone that I really do think back and getting to know Daryl and how he tries to get to know people, as an executive, as a leader, and his analysis and just talking to him. I mean, he's fantastic.
Well, he is fantastic. And what I love about him is he's honest. Sunday afternoon, he's going to be rooting his tail off for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a Cowboy through and through. So he's going to be sitting there, he's going to be rooting. But he's realistic to know that, the Cowboys are in for a dogfight. And if anybody thinks this is going to be anything other than that, you're going in with your head in the sand. And Daryl Johnston knows that, and he's not afraid to say it, publicly. And I love that about him. His opinion is gold.
And you think about, the last question. So Monday, Daryl, are we going to be talking about a Cowboys win or what went wrong? And the hesitation.
Yeah.
Scares the crap out of me.
You just don't know. I mean, this is one of those football games. It's hard to get a feel for what's going to happen. You want to be optimistic and say, the Cowboys are going to win this thing. We'll look forward to a Tampa Bay Dallas matchup in round number 2, but it's just hard to get that out and be really confident about saying it.
What do you guys think? Cowboys win or one and done? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. On Twitter, he's at JoeKens5. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. I look at this game, and I've gone back and forth with myself, Joe, because how much do we trust this Dallas Cowboys offense? Now, like Moose, I throw out the Philadelphia game.
You have to.
But I look at what they did against Washington and hanging 50. In fact, the fact that you can score 50 on anybody in the NFL in 2 games. But I do appreciate what he said when it comes to most of us are thinking trenches. And Daryl was like, I don't know, maybe they got to throw it a little bit more because that's the weakness of the San Francisco defense.
Yeah. Although they've got a good pass rush, and he did say that. He said that defensive line is fantastic for San Francisco. So is Dak going to have time to sit back there in the pocket, clean, and let CeeDee Lamb get down the field?
Well, it's CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper getting down the field, but is it going to be underneath the tight end? Is it going to be, Cedric Wilson on a crossing route? Is it going to be Pollard involved in the passing game? So many variables there. But I still come back and I'm thinking a 27-17, 27-20 kind of game for the Dallas Cowboys. And 27 isn't with a couple of field goals. It's one damn missed extra point.
You can count on that from Greg Zuerlein. So You're picking the Cowboys in this game, 27-20?
I'm picking the Cowboys 27-20.
Wow. Well, that almost leads me to rethink my prediction here, but I got to stick with it. I've got to be consistent. I was on GDSA this morning with the crew there on Ken's 5.
And, you were?
I was. And
so you're going to take all our TV appearances now?
Well, I'm still working there. Okay. Now after that, maybe we can negotiate.
Did they promote you as the Ken's 5 sports guy or the radio guy?
They left out the radio thing.
Of course they did. Because every time I go on with Roma, it's because you're too lazy to get up in the morning.
So I have to be consistent. And I said on TV this morning, I said Cowboys 24-20. So I said Cowboys win, but it's a tight ball game all the way through, 24-20.
Okay, so we're both taking the Dallas Cowboys.
And we both have them covering the spread.
That's important to a lot of you.
It is.
That's important.
If you trust Jason and I with your money.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's I am not a handicapper.
No.
And the reality is, I don't know that I'd be surprised if the Cowboys lost a close game.
Sure.
And it's weird because if the Cowboys lose, I think it will be a tight game. But I also, while I'm picking 27-20, you're picking 24-20. I don't know that I'd be surprised if the Cowboys blew this thing open and won like 38-17 either.
That's not happening. I'm going to tell you that right now. I just don't think that will happen. I think San Francisco is too good for that. And I don't see that happening. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening.
My official prediction is tight game.
It's a tight ball game.
But if this Cowboys offense gets on the roll for whatever reason, and I've got no reason or evidence to say this is why I think that could happen, but when they get on a roll, they're tough to stop. And that secondary of San Francisco is their weak part. And so if Kellen Moore has a plan and they're able to get that done, all bets are off, right? I don't think that would happen, but I don't think I'd be surprised if the Cowboys blew it open.
Well, then it comes down to Dan Quinn stopping that running game because the San Francisco 49ers want to run the football and they want to keep Dak Prescott and that explosive offense on the bench, on the sidelines. So, obviously works hand in hand for Keldon to be able to do what he wants to do. Dan Quinn is going to have to help him out and get San Francisco off the field. Let's look at Saturday. Because it's to me, those two ball games are money. I love the Raiders, Bengals, and then my second favorite game is the Patriots and the Bills. But the Raiders Bengals is an interesting matchup. But I think the Raiders kind of shot it the other day. Okay, on the last game of the regular season. I love Joe Burrows. I mean, the receivers that the Bengals have are just incredible. And so I like the Bengals in this one. I really do. And I'm going to say 31-17, Jason.
Wow. Come on, man. Joe says 31. Pledge, you writing all this down? Because I'm having trouble taking notes. Don't shake your head, no.
You're just going to say you were right Monday anyway.
No, that's why I'm writing them down.
Yeah, I'm writing them down too. So are
we all writing them down?
Yes, of course.
Because I'm taking the Bengals as well at home.
You thinking about it?
Well, I was going to say 31-17.
Oh.
That's what I was saying, but I don't want the same score as you. That's and maybe it's I'm going to go 34-28.
Oh, a close game there too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Buffalo, New England.
Who you got?
I got Buffalo.
Okay.
And I've got Buffalo in none-degree weather, -10, winning by 10. I think Buffalo wins this game 34-24.
34-24.
Yep.
Wow, you like a high-scoring game in the cold weather in Buffalo.
I do, because I think Josh Allen is going to go nuts. Well, we got a little music for this? We need did you read my mind? I was thinking in my head, we need some good pick-em music.
We're right here.
Yes, we are.
Is this good pick-em music?
Well, it's the best pick-em music we have right now.
I guess so. So we got to go with it.
Sounds like NFL films. Yes. John Vicenda.
Oh, okay.
In the frozen tundra of Buffalo.
Okay, I think this is interesting that you like the Bills. I'm going to go with Bill Belichick in this to win the game and surprise everybody, or not surprise everybody, because Bill Belichick just does that, and I like an ugly game. I'm going to go 2017 New England.
2017 New England.
Yes.
All right. The early game on Sunday, Tampa Bay against Philadelphia.
Well, it's Tom Brady, right? Same as Bill Belichick. So I think the Bucs win this one, and I think they win it going away in this thing. 34-17, Tampa Bay.
Says Joe. I think it's going to be ugly. I'm going 41-10.
Wow.
Just blow them out.
Okay.
Just go smoke them.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Pittsburgh and Kansas City.
Oh, my gosh.
KC wins by how many?
Well, geez, I think they can put up as many points as they want to. I'm gonna show a little respect here. 38-10.
38-10.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole lot of respect that you're showing there. I think Andy Reid has too much respect for the game to blow it open that much. 31-13.
Okay. All right, we got one left, and it's a good one on Monday night. Cardinals, Rams meeting each other for the third time this season.
I like Arizona in the upset.
Oh, my.
Arizona plays better on the road. Kyler Murray having his coming out party in this game. And quite frankly, I just don't trust Matt Stafford in the playoffs. They blew a 17-0 lead last week.
Well, that wasn't Matt Stafford's fault.
What do you mean?
Well, it wasn't his fault that they blew it.
You're going to blame the defense?
I'm going to blame the defense. I think that's appropriate, isn't it?
What about the fact that they kind of quit playing offense?
Well, maybe that's the case.
I'm
going to blame the defense, and that Rams defense is good.
Although I do think it's going to be a shootout, 38-34, the Fighting Cliff Kingsbury's.
38-34. Jason says. Well, yeah, I got to go the opposite there. I like the Rams. I like Matthew Stafford, and I like that Rams defense. And I think they're going to frustrate Kyler Murray in this one. I really do. I'm taking the Rams in this one. I don't think it's going to be quite as high scoring as you say. We're going to go 27-17 Rams. Move on.
27-17 Rams. All right, so we differ on a couple of these. The other part is Matt's wife went on social media and told Rams fans, don't sell your tickets to Arizona fans.
Well, they obviously did to San Francisco fans, so maybe they needed a lecture.
But the quarterback's wife doesn't need to be saying, my husband shouldn't be going to a silent count at home. Don't do that. Let us win.
Well, I'm happy that she understands the game as much as she does. That's good. And he shouldn't have to go to a silent count at home. I mean, come on. I know people want to make money. And look, if you're not USC in Los Angeles, nobody really cares about you. I mean, the pro football teams there, play second fiddle to USC. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been in Los Angeles. But come on. It's the playoffs. Get behind this team and let's go. I mean, there's got to be some St. Louis transplants maybe in Los Angeles or something that can go and support the Rams.
Well, it's like a 6-hour drive from Phoenix to LA. So I don't want to say a day trip since it's a Monday night game. And I like having the Monday night game, but how unfair is it to the winner of this game to turn around and play a playoff game on a short week?
Yeah, that's not good for either the Cardinals or the Rams. And obviously they're going to have to make that trip to Green Bay. So, it's not fair. But it's TV, and they understand that. That's where they make their money, and that's just the way it has to go. Obviously, that game's going to be a Sunday game. I guess not all of them will be. There'll be more than that. So it will have to be a Sunday game, though.
On Twitter, at BurdenBoy9, tweets in at Jason Minix. You can also tweet Joe at JoeKens5. I'm leaning 60-40 Cowboys. Why? Because it seems like all the experts are picking the Niners, and that rarely works out. I will say this, though, if it comes down to Zerline, yikes. Isn't that it's just scary and sad that you're going into the playoffs. There is a kicker issue. No kicker has missed more in the last 2 years than Greg Zuerlein, is it irresponsible of the Dallas Cowboys to still have him on the roster when you go into the postseason? Now, they'll say all the right things, that they've got confidence in him. In fact, Rob and Rudy this morning on R&R in the Morning, talking with Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, as they talk to him every Friday, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. They asked him, you still got faith in your kicker?
Oh, yes, I do, without question. I mean, I think this is all the product of what a 17-game season gives you. Going back to what we talked about earlier. I mean, you have experiences that go on that you're able to learn from, and he's having an excellent week of prep. He's been in there on Monday and Tuesday just working on some little details and so forth. But hey, he's a pro. He's been there before. He's kicked in big games. He's kicked in Super Bowl. So and that's what I'm counting on. He's very much respected and loved in the locker room, and those are all important points. And at the end of the day, we're going to line up and do whatever we need to do, and he'll be part of that come Sunday.
Mm-hmm. How much do you believe the coach when he says that?
Well, because he has no choice, right? He has to believe that. He has to believe that Greg Zuerlein is going to make the kick when he needs to make the kick. What other choice does he have? I mean, they've got no other kicker on that team, right? So it's got to be Zuerlein. You're riding with that guy, and you just hope that, beyond hope, that he's not going to screw up this week.
I go back to something that Daryl Johnston told us earlier when he was on. It's Zuerlein hitting the ball cleanly. You think about the snap, the hold, all seem to be consistent and good. And even on some of his makes, he hasn't hit the ball cleanly. There's something in his mechanics. And you think about your golf swing. You can spend hours and hours and hours at the range working on your swing, feel like you've got it, and then about the fourth hole, it's all out the window after one bad hit.
Well, because it gets in your head. It's a mental thing, right? And it's the same for a kicker. It gets in his head, and you're every time that ball is snapped and you run up to it and you swing that leg, you're thinking about it. I can't do this or I can't do that, instead of not thinking about it and just hitting the ball. And that's when kickers, golfers, anybody that plays sports, that's when you're in your zone and when you don't think about it. And right now, I guarantee you Greg Zuerlein will be thinking about it with that first extra point or first field goal try.
Well, and then the other part, hearing McCarthy say, he was up there Monday, Tuesday working on some things, which is good, but can overanalysis be an issue?
Yes.
What is it? Paralysis by overanalysis?
Yes.
Does that make him think too much? Because that means that Zuerlein isn't doing his normal routine. He's in the lab a little bit too much. And maybe we're in the lab a little bit too much, trying to get inside the head of a kicker, which is never a safe place.
It's not. They're different cats, that's for sure. But, if you've got a problem with your golf swing and you're serious about golf, you go see a teacher. Hopefully Greg Zuerlein is working with a special teams coach or working with somebody that may see something in what he's doing that maybe, they can work that out and say, hey, you're stepping here when you should be stepping there, or, whatever the case may be. But maybe a little extra work is what the doctor ordered.
And again, he's been in big games. I saw a stat several weeks ago that even though he has all these misses, inside of 2 minutes, he's money. But if it comes down to a kick, and I'm going to be in that stadium on Sunday, I don't even know what the atmosphere would be like if it's a tight game or they're down and need a field goal to win it, and he goes out there. The atmosphere, the pressure that's going to be in the air, you're probably going to be able to cut with a knife. I mean, that's like the scariest part. I'm more worried about Greg Zuerlein than I am, say, a Deebo Samuel, and that shouldn't be the case.
Well, when he misses a kick, Jason, all the San Francisco fans that are there will cheer very loudly.
Yes, they will. Both of them.
Both of them, right?
Both of them. Hopefully, and that's the other part. I don't know what to expect this weekend when it comes to what the fan ratio is going to be like. A lot of times, some of the secondary ticket market sites will say, so much tickets are being bought from this region, but so many people from California that have moved to Texas, so that's not going to factor in. I just hope that, not being a quarterback's wife, I can say this. I hope that Cowboy fans aren't selling their ticket to 49ers. I mean, but again, though, if they're going for $1,000 each, Dude, I can't get mad at you if you've got 4 tickets and you can make $4,000 and stay at home.
Yeah, right. That'd be hard to do because you're making a pretty good profit there, aren't you?
Yeah,
because you probably didn't pay that much for them to begin with. So
you didn't pay that much for them.
Exactly.
You didn't. For the price of one ticket is probably what 4 are combined for that one particular game.
So you're telling me, Jason, you have 4 tickets. I don't know, 40-yard line, pretty good seats.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody offers you $4,000 for them. You're selling them?
No, I'm not. I'm going to the game. Got a plane ticket. I'm ready.
Wow.
But if there was a fan out there that wanted to put them up to sell them, I don't know that I'd be mad at them if they did.
Well, I tell you what, somebody offered me $4 or $5,000 for my tickets, I'd probably say yes.
Well, you're a Titan fan, of course.
Well, even if it was in Nashville, okay? Sincerely, my goodness. So you're right. It is tough. When people are paying this much money for tickets.
Think about the standing room only tickets are going for a couple $100.
That's outrageous.
People that are basically going to pay to watch television and have the honor of buying a $12 beer. Think about it.
And when you buy that $12 beer, guess what? You lose your place where you were because you had to go get that beer or go to the restroom. And you've got to find a new place to stand.
But again, you're watching it on the big screen.
But it's the atmosphere that you're in.
And that's
right?
that is going to add to it. The game this week, I expect it to be one of those kind of crazy tailgate scenes before the game. I booked my flight much earlier than I normally do when I fly up for a 3:00 game. I normally go on the noon so you can land, Uber over to the stadium and a little bit of tailgating and go in. We're on like the 9:30 flight because I think the tailgating is going to be that good.
You might not make it inside.
Oh, I'll make it inside. Trust me. I will make it inside. But that Miller Lite tailgate's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's why I say you might not make it inside.
I will make it inside. I'm no rookie at this. I've gone there. Although it is kind of comical sometimes when you see the people that don't.
Yeah, a lot of people
make it inside.
Yeah.
And hell, there's a whole bunch of people that just go set up in the parking lot without tickets. They have no intention of going inside.
Right.
They're just there for the party, for the big party. And there's a couple a group here from San Antonio, the Baracho Tailgaters. They set up this big old thing in one of the lots, I think lot 5 or 6. They always have a huge tailgate, and I'm sure Jerry will have a pregame concert with somebody before the game. It's fun. But the other reason I want to get there early enough to make sure that I'm not missing too much of that early game, Philly and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because, everybody will have it on the TVs in the parking lot.
Yeah, you better get there early because it'll be over by halftime, most likely.
True.
Right? So you want to see a good part of that football game. I don't know. That may be a closer game than we think. Who knows?
Playoffs, but
playoffs.
I again, you're trying it again. All right, Jim Moore. Is that your best one?
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
That sounded just like him, didn't I?
No, that was Jim.
I know. It was perfect. That's what I'm saying. You couldn't tell the difference.
All right, let's hear Joe one more time.
Playoffs.
That was good, Joe.
Perfect, right?
That was good.
Yeah. Nobody's buying that.
I give you a lot of credit. The smoke and mirrors of radio.
Oh man, I love that.
You want to do it one more time?
What was also you do?
Does it hurt your voice when you do that?
No, not at all. It could be the Allen Iverson version though. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs.
That was bad.
Playoffs. That was better.
Better than bad.
That was pretty good.
That was not pretty good. All right,
Jason.
All right, let's have you do one that's pretty good.
Playoffs. What talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs.
All right, so the second one was the clip. The first one was you,
right? Allegedly,
supposedly,
yeah.
Unless you're watching on the video screen, then yeah, you may know.
I should have mouthed it as he was doing that. Playoffs. You see,
that's going to be a drop.
Playoffs.
We'll talk more playoffs with Jon Machota from The Athletic. He will join us coming up next here on the Blitz. But if you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, if you need your logo on any gear, especially winter gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. Sam has his winter line on display right now in that massive showroom. jackets, coats, hoodies, half zips, beanies. He's got all the big name brands like North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Port Authority, to name a few. And Sam has plenty of inventory in stock. Not many can say that, but Sammy, he has the winter gear in stock. He's got your polos, your t-shirts, your fishing shirts, your hats in stock. Largest selection of caps as well, including the Richardson style cap. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from, and not just embroidery. He could do silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, no order too big. You need one item, you need 100 items, you need 10,000 items. You get into Sammy's Embroidery Club, and all items do come with a warranty. Call Sammy's at 210-824-3900. 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. The website, samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club. Jon Machota from The Athletic joins us next after SportsCenter with Pledge.
Thanks a lot, Jason. The San Antonio Spurs are looking to snap a 4-game losing streak tonight as they return to action to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tip-off from the AT&T Center set for 7:30, and Game Night San Antonio helps get you ready for it later on the Blitz. In other Spurs news, the Toronto Raptors are interested in trading for Spurs big man Jakob Hurtles, this according to multiple reports. Hurtles was originally with the Raptors before coming over to San Antonio with DeMar DeRozan as a part of the Kawhi Leonard deal. The NBA trade deadline is under a month away on February the 10th. In college hoops, last night, the 19th-ranked Texas Tech Red Bears won their third straight, beating Oklahoma State 78-57. They improved to 13-3 and 3-1 in the Big 12 with the win and return to action tomorrow against Kansas State. UTSA fell to 7-10 following Old Dominion 83-51. In other action tomorrow, the 21st-ranked Texas Longhorns take on 15th-ranked Iowa with tip-off set for 1 o'clock in the afternoon from Ames, while the Texas A&M Aggies, riding a 7-game win streak and undefeated at 3-0 in the SEC, hit the road to take on Missouri. Tip-off set for 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. It's a game you can actually catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 2 with the pregame. I'm James Pledger.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance So You Only Pay for What You Need. I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know, it's going to be a great weekend to get in the store, get yourself some Kielbasa smoked meats. You think about those maple breakfast links, which are available at select H-E-B stores. Great for a great weekend breakfast spread. They come fully cooked, so during the week, they're great for that quick breakfast on the go. Totally delicious. These breakfast links are a little sweet, a little savory, and fantastic. Got to get those while you're in there getting your sausage for the weekend, because it's a big playoff weekend. You know you're going to fire up the grill this weekend, and no game day is complete without Kielbasa sausage, the best Kielbasa smoked sausage. And you think about those sausage wraps that you're going to enjoy this weekend for your home gating. The reason Kielbasa selected the length of their sausage is so it fits perfectly in a tortilla. So get into the grocery store, get your cold beverages, get your tortillas, and make sure you get yourself some Kielbasa today.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers, just you against a giant insurance company. that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to CancerScreenQuiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to CancerScreenQuiz.com now. CancerScreenQuiz.com.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
The custodial team is not
Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Cowboys, Niners on Sunday. You watch all the shows, read the various sites. It's about 50-50 on experts' picks on who's going to win this game and all the pressure that is on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about it with Jon Machota from The Athletic. He covers the Cowboys for The Athletic. And, John, we'll start there. I mean, you know, all the pressure, is it really on Dak?
I mean, I can't say all of it is, but there's going to be a lot on him. I mean, not just because of the fact that he's the Cowboys quarterback, but because, I mean, when he's at his best, he plays at an MVP level, and that has become the expectation for him. And the other part of it is that in this particular matchup, I don't see the Cowboys winning this game if Dak Prescott doesn't play well, because to beat this 49ers team, I think that the Cowboys have to have a lot of success throwing the football. And that is one of the weaknesses of this 49ers defense is they've allowed plenty of quarterbacks to put up some decent numbers against them. They have one of the highest passer ratings against in the NFL this season. So I feel like that is the path to success for the Cowboys is success through the air. And I just don't know how you have that success without Dak Prescott playing well. And so he continues to say that it doesn't bother him, that he likes the pressure, that, you know, that's what comes with the job, and he's all about it. But I don't know. I think you'd be pretty naive to think that there isn't a lot of pressure on him.
You know, John, we were talking to Daryl Moose Johnston earlier about Dak and about how he's played over the last couple of games. And we're talking about the Philadelphia game and how maybe that's you really can't, you know, go by that as far as how the Cowboys offense is playing. But even in that game, he was saying that Dak had some balls that had the regulars been out there might have been intercepted. I know Dak projects a lot of confidence, John, but do you sense that he is confident going into this football game?
I mean, yeah, I think he's confident. I don't think that if you hooked him up to a lie detector test, I don't think that he would tell you that he's played his best ball over the last 2 months. I mean, he's played good enough ball to obviously put them in the position that they are in. But at the same time, Dak Prescott's best ball, it's pretty. I can take you to exactly where it was. It was the first 5 or 6 games of the season. That's when he was in the MVP conversation. He could do no wrong, basically, and that's why the Cowboys got off to that hot start. And regardless of whoever you put in front of them, they played well. But now ever since he came back from the calf injury, and I'm not saying it's because of the calf injury, but ever since he's come back from that, it just hasn't been the same. Now he has gotten right and played well against Philly, and he had that big game against Washington, and there was a game against Atlanta. But obviously, those aren't teams that are going to be like San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco is one of the best teams in the NFC. They're playing really well right now, and so there's a lot of pieces on that defense that could cause problems. But yeah, all eyes are going to be on Dak for sure and how he handles all of this. But I will also say how he's played in the playoffs in the past, those previous 3 games. He doesn't seem like the pressure bothered him in those games. He certainly was not the reason that they lost 2 out of those 3.
Very true. Jon Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz. As you think about the matchups and, the offensive line versus the defensive line, running the ball, throwing the ball, what San Francisco is going to do offensively, what's the one matchup that favors San Francisco that the Cowboys have to be competitive in to give themselves a chance?
The Cowboys have to do a much better job stopping the run than they've done recently. There have just been too many times in the last month where their run defense kind of makes you think back to last year and how bad the run defense was. Now, of course, they're not that bad. I mean, that was historically bad last year, but San Francisco they're not shy about this. They want to run the football. Now, they're not going to just run between the tackles, and they do a variety of different runs. I mean, that's the thing about them. I mean, even when they were down 17-0, it's not like they went away from the run against San Francisco last week. I mean, against the Rams last week. This is what this 49ers team does. And I just find it hard to believe if they go for $150 that they're not going to win this game because, one, it's going to eat up possessions. There's not going to be a lot of possessions if they're running the ball well. So, that's what San Francisco wants. They want this game to be like 8-possession game. The Cowboys want this to be like 10-12 possession game. If they're running the ball well, they're just going to eat up the clock, and it's not going to be like that, one. And then 2 is if they're running the ball well, then that means that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to throws. And if you're the Cowboys, you want Jimmy Garoppolo to have to make big throws. 1, because he'll turn the ball over, and that is obviously the Cowboys' strength on defense. And 2, that's when the front players, the DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, they're at their best when they're facing a pocket passer who has to drop back and make big throws. And if they're running the ball well, San Francisco's not going to have to do that. So somehow on 1st and 2nd down, they got to limit it so that Jimmy G's facing like 3rd and 5 pluses. And if he's doing that consistently, the Cowboys would be in good shape.
John, when you look at this, a lot of Cowboy fans were happy. The Cowboys beat Philadelphia, and then the way things played out Sunday, and the Cowboys end up with that 3rd seed. And then all of a sudden you see the scheduling and you see San Francisco. And then a lot of folks are saying, well, this is a horrible matchup for the Cowboys. Is this a worse matchup for them than, say, would have been the Rams or the Cardinals?
I put it on the same level as the Rams. Different teams and in different ways they would affect you. The Rams for me is more of Aaron Donald is not a good matchup on the interior of this Cowboys offensive line. Yes, you have Zach Martin, but your other 2 pieces on the interior of the offensive line, that's a big reason why Chris Jones was able to almost single-handedly win that Chiefs game against the Cowboys. So that's why the Rams I put on the same level with San Francisco. I thought the best matchup would be them having a rematch against Arizona, just because of how difficult it would have been to beat Arizona, or for Arizona to beat them twice in basically 3 weeks in their building. And that's why even after that Arizona win, Cliff Kingsbury said that he really didn't want to have to play them in a rematch just because of how difficult he knew that was going to be. But San Francisco's right there with them, with those other teams. I don't think any of those teams was going to be easy. I think that all of them were going to be a difficult matchup, whoever it was. But because of the style of play, I don't think it's great for the Cowboys. What's great for the Cowboys getting this draw, though, is that you have to like their matchup better going to Tampa Bay than going to Green Bay. And so that's the part where if you can get past this game, then being the 3 seed certainly paid off for you. But getting past this game is not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy. In fact, according to Vegas, this is the closest game, only a 3-point spread. Cowboys favored by 3 at home. And that brings us to Greg Zuerlein. I know they all talk confidently about their kicker, but how confident are they really in Greg the Leg?
there's just no way they can't be supremely confident, like as if, you got to go back to really those prime years of Dan Bailey, where it was just like you almost took it for granted. Now, obviously, the extra points were at a different distance at that time, but that's the last time for the Cowboys that you had that feeling at kicker. And so the last few years hasn't been like that. So I think they're confident in Greg if he has to kick something late in the game, because he actually hasn't been bad in the game-winning situations. I mean, obviously that Chargers game where you're kind of like, they're going to have to get within at least a 40-yard kick, and here he is making 56, I think it was, whatever, to win the game. He has been pretty clutch there. It's the missing these extra points is the part that's really been, that's what makes you worried in a close game like this is probably going to be. But yeah, there's no way that they can sit there and say that they're completely confident, but there has to be some confidence because actions speak louder than words. And the actions are that they have not replaced him. So for them not to even go out and bring in another kicker, that's the thing. Like if they were as nervous about him going out there, let's not act like this has happened just over the last week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month. This has been going on for a while that you've been kind of, I don't know if you got to put Greg's leg out there in a big moment. I don't know. And they haven't brought anybody else in. So obviously they're more confident than the rest of us are.
Well, is it a confidence thing though, John, or is there nobody else out there? I mean, I don't know the list of the kickers that might be available, but did they kind of look around the landscape perhaps and say, well, he's really the best there is right now that's available?
Yeah, I'm sure that's a major part in it, is that, having the guys like Kai Forbath and who else did they bring in? They brought in Brett Maher. They were bringing in guys like that earlier in the year when Zerline was struggling, but obviously that wasn't to the level of where they wanted it at the position. And certainly it seems like one that they will have to address in the offseason. So, yeah, no, that factors into it too. But I still feel like the two people that have the most say in the decision, that being John Fossil and Mike McCarthy, I just feel like they're a lot more confident in him than most of us are.
It certainly seems that way. Jon Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz on Twitter at Jon Machota. And you had a tweet the other day earlier in the week listing some of those secondary ticket prices. Is the sense in the DFW area that those are being gobbled up by a lot of 49er fans, or do you think it will be mostly Cowboy fans in the building?
No, I think it's going to be mostly Cowboys fans. I mean, as much as I like poking fun earlier in the week with that picture from 2014 where there's so much red in that stadium, that's a different ball game there. That's one, the Cowboys are coming off of a disappointing season, and the expectations of 2014 certainly weren't to be what the Cowboys ended up being that year. It was the home opener. The schedules come out so many months in advance. You have time to plan, travel, and do things like that. Like, obviously, there's going to be 49ers fans there. There's 49ers fans that live in the Metroplex, but it's not going to be like to a point where I will be stunned if it isn't a hardcore home Cowboys crowd, just because of, one, the fact of, like I said, it's a quick turnaround to get a significant amount of fans in there to make a big difference on 1 week's notice. San Francisco didn't even know they were making the playoffs until they just won this past weekend. So that makes it difficult. But the other thing is that I just get a different sense. Like I was telling somebody the other day, like everything about this year feels different than the last time they were in the playoffs and hosted a game. And that would be 2018 when they hosted the Seahawks. This just seems bigger. The feeling I get from Cowboys fans is I expect them to be locked in, and I expect it to be loud in that stadium. And there's been moments this year when it's been like that. Philadelphia, Washington, those are two games where, and two particular things that I'll just remember so well. I'll put them up there with any time I've been in that stadium. And it's when Trayvon Diggs got that interception against Washington that kind of just turned the tide early on. Washington challenged him on that very first play, and that building was rocking from there on out in that game, and obviously it snowballed. And the other one was when Jimmy Johnson said, how about them Cowboys, after he got his Hall of Fame ring at halftime of that Eagles game, and that place was rocking during that game too. I expect the atmosphere to be just like that on Sunday. I think it's going to be a very hardcore, loud Cowboys crowd.
Good stuff as always. Jon Machota from The Athletic. Enjoy the game this weekend. We'll talk to you next week as we get ready for round 2.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. Jon Machota from The Athletic on Twitter at Jon Machota, Jon. I'm confident. Cowboys are going to win this game.
You're confident.
I'm confident.
Now, just 10 minutes ago, you weren't confident.
No. I've been confident all day.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
I don't think so. Pledge, help me out here. Has he been confident all day?
You want me to play the Moose interview again?
We have it on tape.
I do. I've got it. It's ready to go.
What'd I say?
You didn't
weren't
say
confident.
anything, but after it, you
I
were
said
less confident.
The Moose wasn't confident. That brought me down a little bit. But, John, I've rebounded. I've gotten back to where I need to be. I picked the Cowboys to win.
Well,
I'm sticking with it.
And so did I. I picked them to win. I just think it's going to be a dog fight. And I think John's right that I like the Cowboys' chances against Tampa Bay in round 2 better than I like their chances against San Francisco this week.
That's crazy.
It is nuts, right?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Get by the first round.
That's all they have to do, or hope for an upset. Philly goes in there, upsets Tom Brady, and then guess what? We're back at AT&T Stadium next week.
Southwest would love it if that were the case.
Yes,
I can
they
promise
would.
you that. We got some interesting bad news. Well, we'll get into it involving Robert Earl Keane. He's alive. He's alive.
Yes.
I don't want to go to break with that. And oh crap. Oh, what, Pledge?
Yeah, if several people just drove off the street.
Apparently, the road does not go on forever.
And the party does end.
Damn it. We'll talk about it. We'll explain in a minute here on the Blitz. Hey, let me tell you about Garageization. If you're trying to find an organization solution for your garage like I needed, you need to do what I did, and that's call Garageization at 210-664-4494. If you need to organize your garage, get 2 cars in, the bikes, the golf clubs, all the stuff. Make sure it works around the beer fridge, all of that. If you need overhead racks, shelves, closed storage, slat walls, make your garage functional for the entire family. Call Garageization, 210-664-4494. They're a great veteran-owned company that's been helping San Antonians love their garage since 2008. Call them. Have them give a customized plan for your garage. Go to the website, garageorganizationsanantonio.com. That's garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Rob Thompson and Rudy J. Don't rush. It's R&R in the morning. Monday morning at 7. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
BetOnline.net would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the football playoffs and beyond. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports info, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline.net has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is
I know
exponential.
we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
It's drive and determination.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
It's magic and mayhem.
Long three is good.
We've got NBA action live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson on your home for Rangers baseball. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
And the party never ends.
You know, apparently the road does not go on forever, and the party apparently does end. Robert Earl Keen announces his retirement from touring. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
From touring, though, that's the key word there.
Well, that's it. So he writes on his website, first and foremost, this has nothing to do with his health. Quote, I'm a stronger believer in clarity and truth as much as I love what I do. It's more important that I do it well or not at all. I'm not sick or experiencing any whatever crisis. Making a decision and quitting the road while I still love it is the way I want to leave it.
Existential?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the word.
Sure.
Hey, but look, I guarantee you, Floors, Green Hall, he'll play.
Well, here's the thing. I looked on his website. You know, he's on the road right now, playing in wonderful spots like North Carolina. He's got shows next week in South Carolina, North Carolina. Be up in Virginia, Kentucky. His website ends March 13th, but according to this Rolling Stone article, he's going to wrap things up at Flora's Country Store. Says numerous shows up through September 4th. And then he's going to have a fan appreciation party on September 5th. Details haven't been announced yet. And I don't know, does he play August 1 through September 4th? Because if that's it, he'll sell out Floors every damn night.
Oh, he will, and he usually does anyway. But how many times has George Strait said, I'm done? And then he's still playing in Vegas. He's still doing some shows here and there. I just think, it gets in these guys. It's what they do, right? I mean, I understand completely. You retire from one media and you go to work for another one. And that's kind of how it goes. So I think Robert Earl Keen retire from touring, but I guarantee you, Floors, he'll be there. Green Hall, he'll be there. He'll still play some venues because that's what he does. It's going to be difficult for him not to do it.
He's still going to do his podcast that he's been doing. He's still going to write, still going to record. So we'll see. And you're right. I think I've got 6 Motley Crue Farewell Tour t-shirts.
Right.
Kiss has been on a farewell tour since 1978. They've had about 50 of them, I think. But he's 66. And when you see that, first thing you think is health. Robert Earl Keen is one of the coolest to hang out with backstage anywhere. He really is.
I've never had the privilege of doing that, so I'll take your word for it. And I can imagine he probably is because, it's just that good country music. I didn't think you liked country music.
No, I like Texas country.
Okay.
Give me NREK, Ray Wiley Hubbard,
Randy Rogers,
Pat Green, Randy Rogers, those types. I'm all in. The bubblegum pop country crap. No.
Well, I'm with you there. That's why I like George Strait. You like Alan Jackson types, or we even go back to the Keith Whitley. I don't know if you know who Keith Whitley is. May have been the greatest country singer of all time, and the poor guy.
He was a linebacker somewhere. Was that? No.
He sounds like a linebacker. Poor guy. He drank himself to death, and that was sad. Yeah, that happened back in his 30s a long time. But he had great songs.
Back in the 30s?
No. He was in his 30s.
I mean, I know you're old, but come on, dude.
I saw his concert back in 1933. Okay, come on. He was great.
Never heard of Keith Whitley.
Oh, well, then you need to Google.
He's right up there with Conway Twitty, right?
No, he's better than Conway Twitty. You need to Google him. I guarantee you. I've got him on Spotify.
No, that's all right.
I can share it with you.
I mean, when Pledge isn't raising his head about somebody, I'll go with it.
Pledge doesn't even know who he is. Both of you guys need to class up a little bit and listen to some good music.
I do listen.
Motley Crue, really, dude? Those guys got to be 80.
Not quite, but they've lived a life that says they're 80.
I mean, who's the dude from REO Speedwagon? I saw at New Year's Eve party here and the guy looked like a walking skeleton. I mean, honestly. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but
but you know
probably
what?
sounded bad.
I've got a rule for these old musicians. You know, you look at like Keith Richards. I interviewed Keith Richards in 1994, and I thought that dude was dead then, right? And he's still,
I think he was.
He's still rolling around.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I've got a theory, and this is what concerns me about Robert Earl Keen. Keep touring, because when you quit touring, you die. You look at like Charlie Watts with Rolling Stones said he wasn't going to go on this leg of the tour, and he was gone before the damn thing even started. I mean, there's just something about these guys staying on the road. It keeps them alive. It's what they do.
Well, that's why I think Robert Earl Keen, George Strait, these guys retire from touring, so to speak, but they continue to perform because that's what they've been doing their entire life. And I would bet the ranch that Robert Earl Keen will continue to perform at places that he loves, like Floor's Country Store, like Green Hall, in these places. He'll continue to do that.
So random guest appearances. I'm just not putting together a schedule and getting on a bus and gone from the house for 8 weeks.
Right. I mean, because that's got to, I mean, it's, you know, I hate to go back and use myself as an example, but sometimes you get tired of working till 11:30 at night.
Do you?
Yeah. And so you don't really retire from working. You just retire from a certain business and go do something else.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
And so I think
February 28th,
Robert Earl Keen.
The road ends for Reinagel.
Exactly.
September 4th, it ends for Robert Earl Keen. They're one and the same.
We are one and the same. He's a little bit older, though.
66.
I will. He's a little bit older.
He calls you a kid.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Junior.
Man. Big weekend for NFL playoffs. We'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz. But, you know, this weekend or anytime, if you need an electrician, Hill Electric. They're available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home, added extra outlets in the garage. I've had them put up motion lights outside, even just had them add a light over one of my grills in the backyard. Rob Thompson just had them to his house. He had some issues with all kinds of stuff. They got it fixed, and then Rob was all excited because they went and they changed all his light bulbs on the 15-foot ceiling. And some of those lights been out for years. That is what they do. Hill Electric for 3 decades. Family-owned, serving San Antonio homes and businesses. If you need outlets or USB ports added, they'll do that for you. Put in a dimmer switch, they'll fix that for you. Extra outlets in the garage, they'll fix that fuse that always blows, the flickering lights. They have the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. If you're a business, you need to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distant space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
I can't wait to watch you guys play.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go.
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
Let's go. Let's go.
Are you ready?
You got to go out there every play and earn it.
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star.
I like it.
We're serving up all the biggest games you can handle.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Get all the action live on San Antonio Sports Star.
180. What's up?
ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio, has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump, with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com, or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel. Hour to go, then the weekend starts for most of us. Why do you have a confused look on your face, Reinagel?
Well, because we were out for a minute, or I was.
You were out?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still getting used to this radio thing.
I'm working on some stuff in the background.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, it just felt that way. I'm better now because
Are you good? Can you hear?
I'm good. Yeah.
So when you say you're out, is your headphones got a little short? You didn't hear anything?
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Is that it?
It must be.
Some high quality headphones you brought in.
Well, let me tell you, the ones that Rob Thompson uses here, they weigh about 500 pounds.
Well, he's got a big head.
I guess, but man, I tried to use the first day I was here, and it was like I had a headache afterwards.
Well, not only that, but you get, Pledge, why are you jacking with everybody's microphone? What the hell are you doing in there?
Hey, Pledge, what are you doing in there?
I have no idea what he's doing.
See, it wasn't just me.
I don't hear myself.
There you
All
go.
Right, there I am. What are you doing, Pledge?
Nothing?
No.
Nothing?
Your mic started blinking, so I was trying to fix it.
Okay.
All right.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are we flying now?
No.
I mean, are you sure? Is the airplane off the ground? Test 1 2 1 2. 1 2.
It's wobbling, but we're off the ground.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of we got a little,
we're on the
turbulence.
air. I mean, that was
a little turbulence.
You're not on the air.
Yeah. All right.
See, I wasn't crazy.
No, apparently you're not.
You see that?
I was like, man, what's going on with Joe? Is you all right?
Yeah, I had a goofy look on my face, apparently.
Normal,
which is normal, right? I mean,
I still don't know what Pledge is doing with all of these buttons. Would you stop? You're making me very nervous.
Yeah, he's like he's mixing something up back there. He's cooking something.
You know, you get the sense that, you know, you're walking around and you see the guys with, like, you know, bomb squad or something, and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to go the other way.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, or all of a sudden, you know, like when you're on a plane and you get a lot of turbulence, and then like the pilot who's just catching a ride on that goes up to the cockpit. You're like, oh, what the hell's going on up there?
Yeah.
Where the guy that's just riding is uncomfortable. He wants to check in on things.
Exactly. And he can do that. Everybody else wants to do the same thing, but the pilot gets to do that.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. So we're all good. I still don't know if we're good because
he looks like Dr. Frankenstein back there or something. Just kind of just moving around. Look at him. If you're watching the stream, you understand what we're talking about. If you're not, you probably understand what we're talking about.
Well, it just makes you a little bit nervous.
A little bit, yeah.
That's going on. I mean, Pledge, a lot of times he bounces around for music and all that. I've learned to live with that kind of distraction. But when he's hovering over the board, looking at buttons, pushing things that I don't know what he's doing, that's when you get a little distracted and nervous.
Well, he may be saving our lives.
He might be, or he's about to shoot an electric shock through our head and end us all.
Yeah, I'll show you guys.
If you've never had an engineer, and I've had this happen to me, Greg Shelton, adjust a button and something goes off in your ear and your ear starts bleeding, blood starts dripping out of your ear. You would understand why I get a little bit nervous when I see him doing that over there.
That happened to you?
That happened to me. We were doing our show at a Buffalo Wild Wings down off of Zarzamora. And Datwin kept telling Shelton, my headphones aren't loud enough. My headphones aren't loud enough. And Shelton was adjusting, and for whatever reason, it just wasn't working. So he just cranked mine up and literally blew my eardrum.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, no, I was bleeding out of my ear. It was, I couldn't hear for like 3 days. I had this ringing going on in my ear. So when I see Pledge doing that, it's like a flashback, if you will.
You know what? It gave me a flashback too. When you're talking about blood coming out of your ear, I'll never forget it. High school, Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't me.
Oh, of course.
But there was a guy. No, there was a dude sitting not too far away, and it was right by the speaker. And blood starts coming out of his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nuts.
It was nuts. But for the record, got a napkin, cleaned it up, finished the show.
Well, good for you.
I mean, you play hurt. That's what you got to do.
I went on TV with a broken nose one night.
Did you really?
I did. It looked goofy, but I did it.
Wait a minute. Did you have the Kleenex up your nose and all that?
No. It was the weirdest thing. We were playing in a charity basketball game, right? And we do it in between shows. So we'd get off the early shows, you go play basketball, and then you come back. Well, I'm playing, I'm going. I had a fast break. I go in for a layup like this. Bam, I'm all proud of myself. And as soon as I turn around, our photographer, Jason Eggleston, you know how tall he is.
Oh, yeah. You're going to blame him?
Dude, his shoulder was right here. My nose hit him. The nose went over here. My face went the other way. And it was like over here. I had to move it back into place and then ended up getting a concussion from that. But the show went on, buddy.
So you went to
I was
work
there for the 10 o'clock
had
show.
Blood all over your shirt, hiding it under the tie.
Changed shirts. Because I was in my gym clothes, so I had to go back and put the other ones on,
put
right?
on the suit,
yeah. And before I had the raccoon face, I was okay. So went to work and.
So you did the show that night. How long were you off of work after that?
I played hurt. Well, actually, it was a Friday night, so I did the Friday night show. So it was the weekend, and then it was weird because I felt fine all weekend, and I woke up Monday morning and I had vertigo like you wouldn't believe. I mean, just spinning. Everything was spinning, and so they told me I had a concussion.
Really?
Yeah, weirdest thing.
Take a week off of work for that?
But I played hurt. Well, I took Monday off.
You took Monday off?
I did. Yeah.
And then they put in your contract no more basketball for you. You got to protect that moneymaker of yours.
They didn't do that.
No.
No. It was for charity, Jason.
It was. The Tube Trotters.
Right. Exactly. The
Tube Trotters.
That's right. So
they're like the Washington Generals. I mean, they don't have a win.
But I know Jason Eggleston. If he doesn't feel bad, he should. He should. He shouldn't be as tall as he is. But he was just there for the rebound. And I turned around, and it was just one of those weird things.
Sure.
It was flush. And again, my head went one way, my nose went the other, and it was crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You play hurt, though. That's what you do.
You got to play hurt.
So there you go.
I did a show one time, sick as a dog.
Yeah.
My gallbladder was going out. I thought I was having a heart attack, man. But I'll never forget. It was Friday. Call a buddy of mine that owns one of those standalone ERs. He said, "Man, come see me." Go in there. Nope, your heart's good. Might be your gallbladder. And the mistake the guy made says, well, we're going to check in the hospital, see how you do over the weekend. And then Monday, if you need it, we'll have surgery. So you might. So I went to work. And Reagan was playing Steel. I'm not going to miss that game.
Right.
And I felt good over the weekend, but apparently it's because the drugs they gave me.
Sure.
And then go Monday, and they're like, you're an idiot. You know, Dr. DePerier, who took it out, was like, man, that thing was screaming. You are so lucky it didn't burst.
Wow.
Over the weekend, because, you know, you might not be here if that were to happen. But I was in so much pain, but then I wasn't. But then even Rob was like, dude, you can barely sit in the booth. You got to go home. You know, go. And I'm like, nah, man, it's Reagan Steel. I'm not missing this game. And what am I going to do? Go home and sit?
And wiggle around in the chair.
Well, and then Saturday night we were drinking at Rue Pub on then Monday, you know, you go in and you get the thing out. And that was the worst surgery I've ever had. It hurt so bad. Well, the aftermath
after the fact
of losing a gallbladder.
Wow. Well, I still have mine, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, that surgery and they did it laparoscopic. I can't imagine for those where they cut you open like
Is that with the robot thing? They had a robot on you?
Yeah, three little holes, but I was in so much pain.
I watched a guy do that. We did a story on an anesthesiologist one time, right? He was a golfer, and he was about to play in this thing, and so they allowed us into the operating room. Maybe that was you. I don't know. But it was the robot, and you could see it was like the doctor was playing a video game. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That could have been you, and I didn't even know it.
They let
us and a camera in.
Why were you there? Isn't that Wendy Rigby's job?
Well, this guy was a golfer, so you know, I did it. I think Wendy was still there at the time. I don't remember.
So I remember Wendy doing all the medical stuff.
Yeah, she would do that. So I found it fascinating though, because it was the doctor. It was like playing a video game. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I don't have the stomach to go watch any kind of surgery. None. I don't want anything to do with it.
I want to go look at the tape now and see if that was you.
It wasn't me.
Are you sure?
I would have had to sign something that allowed you guys in there. And you said it was a golfer. Although you didn't say it was a good golfer.
No, the anesthesiologist was a golfer, not the patient.
Yeah, I have no idea who knocked me out for that. I know Dr. DePerier did the surgery.
Okay.
He's the best.
Well, it could have been you.
I'm pretty sure it was. And although, you know, knowing me and knowing Dr. D, he probably would have said, come on in.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Jason will never know.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it is. A big football Friday, big weekend games. And let's start with the obvious, the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
What did I say for my score earlier? I wrote every score down that we predicted earlier, except for what I said for
you said
Cowboys Niners.
Cowboys would win 27-20.
27-20.
Yes.
And you had it a little bit closer.
I had it 24-20.
24-20.
Yeah, Cowboys.
And I'm confident but nervous, if that makes sense. Can you be both heading into a game?
You can. You know, you've got butterflies.
Well, I don't trust the Cowboys.
Right. You don't know what team's going to show up.
That's exactly what it is. If the Dak Prescott machine shows up, Cowboys, I wouldn't be surprised if they blew this game open. I don't expect that to happen.
Right.
But does Dak Prescott throw for 300 and a couple of touchdowns? Is Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb making big plays down the field? If it doesn't feel like you're at the dentist, then I think the Cowboys win this game relatively easy. But if it's one of those grinded out games, Cowboys could be in for a long Sunday afternoon.
I think it is going to be one of those grinded out games. I just think that the Niners are going to be able to run the football, which is going to limit the Cowboys offensively. And that's obviously their game plan. So I think it's coming down to fourth quarter. It's coming down to the fourth quarter in this game. And that's where it's going to be won or lost.
You know, when you and I don't know how many, but I saw something earlier. Mike McCarthy's never lost to Kyle Shanahan. Dak's never lost to San Francisco. The Cowboys in the wild card round 3-0 recently.
I know you're reading this from Patrick Garcia, and that's why you're laughing.
Well, I'm trying not to be distracted.
I know.
I'm in the middle of something important. You know, and Pledge just wants to throw a grenade in the middle of a good segment.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful grenade, actually. Way to go, Patrick.
Patrick Garcia just tried Dairy Queen tacos, and he's surprised they were pretty good.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of the consensus. Because your expectation is they are so bad that pretty good is okay. But Garcia is not going to go back and get him again.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Sure he is.
And I'm sure and I hope that the man got himself some steak fingers for later.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that's the best thing at Dairy Queen.
Now, what were you saying?
Batella Franklin's an idiot.
Oh, that's right.
No, I look at this Cowboys team at home. The things they do well, they're going to have to do well. And Dak Prescott should be able to take advantage of that San Francisco secondary, especially outside the numbers. The question really is, will the offensive line give him time to try to create some of those deep passes?
And can the Cowboys defense stop the San Francisco running game? That's going to be huge, Jason, because if the Cowboys defense allows San Francisco to run the football and they eat up 6-7 minutes a drive and end up punching it in, that's Dak Prescott on the sidelines and that powerful offense, and they're not going to have the possessions to be able to put up the points you're talking about.
You know, and that's kind of the crazy part where you think about wasting a possession. The idea of winning this game in the trenches, all of that is there. It's the self-inflicted crap that the Cowboys have to avoid. The holding penalty.
Yep.
You know, you pick up a first down on a third down, but holding, and then you end up punting or missing a field goal, because with Greg Zuerlein, you've got to factor in a miss of some kind. So when the Cowboys are game planning and trying to figure out what they're going to need, I think it's there. But this Cowboys defense, and who would have thought this in August? This Cowboys defense is going to be the difference in a playoff game. If they can keep San Francisco to around 24 points, the Cowboys should win this game. If San Francisco somehow is in the 30s, I don't know, with the way the Cowboys offense has been playing, that this offense built to score in the 30s is going to be there, because of the Niners defense is pretty damn good.
It is pretty good. They've got a good pass rush, which that offensive line, and you know, that caused a lot of holding penalties, right? When you've got good pass rushers. We'll see. You keep talking about Greg Zuerlein and not being able to trust him. I'm going to throw something else out there.
All right.
Why then do you trust that offensive line? And why are we not talking more about that and about trusting them to be able to do their job without those stupid penalties that cost them first downs?
They've won 12 games. I mean,
against bad teams.
But again, though, they've won 12 games.
Well, you could say the same for Zuerlein then. They've won 12 games.
Zuerlein, a singular guy that his motion can dictate. Do I trust everybody on that offensive line? No. But as a group, giving Dak enough time, getting Zeke involved in the run game, I just got to believe that it's in that respects, they've got to be able to do that. I mean, is there concern there? Absolutely. Absolutely. They've got to come out. Nick Bosa, he's gonna get his attention. Clearly, he's going to get.
Who's going to pay attention to him? Because if it's Tyron Smith, I give the battle to Bosa. It's going to have to be two.
Well, that's it. And it's weird to say Tyron Smith is going to need some help.
He's going to need some help.
And that's where Zeke, the highest paid blocker,
exactly,
has got to help too. If maybe sometimes it's three. And if you watch some of the San Francisco highlights, there are people that will double and triple team Nick Bosa to keep him from blowing things up. And maybe it's rolling Dak away from Nick Bosa, having some creative blocking schemes in there to be able to move the sticks. I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. And you know, Daryl Johnston, the Moose, joined us earlier, and he talked about playing Micah Parsons in the middle. And maybe that's what one of the wrinkles Dan Quinn comes up with defensively, because you got two unicorns in this game. You got the most versatile defensive guy in Micah Parsons, and the Niners have the most versatile offensive guy in Dabo. So I mean, you look at this and you sit there and you wonder what part is going to give, because each one of those guys has the ability to wreck the other team's plan.
They do. I would like to see Micah Parsons rush the quarterback a little more in this game. I get it. He's a linebacker and he's going to do what he does out there. And I know you've got some good pass rushers on that Cowboys defensive line, but when Micah Parsons rushes the quarterback, it disrupts everything. The guy is so quick. He's so quick. It's difficult even for a running back to get in front of that guy. And so I would love to see more of that. Moose also talked about making Garoppolo uncomfortable. And I think Parsons could be the guy to get that done.
Well, I think, and I agree, and I think you probably will in certain situations, but putting him in the middle, knowing his playmaking abilities, and, you know, you got a guy like George Kittle that's going to be tearing up the middle of that football field. Garoppolo throws so much in between the numbers. Everything seems to be over the middle, that you need a Micah Parsons in there to disrupt that, maybe get that big game-changing interception.
Could be, or do the Niners adjust to that and Garoppolo all of a sudden throws outside the numbers?
Yeah, history says no.
History says
I
no.
mean, and again,
it's the playoffs, Jason.
With DeMarcus Lawrence and with Randy Gregory getting after the quarterback, you know, maybe you're blitzing Micah Parsons right up the middle. I mean, there's going to be some opportunities. There's going to be some opportunities if he's in the middle that San Francisco is not going to know where it's coming from.
That's an idea and a good one, although the Niners are getting Trent Williams back on that offensive line. So that's going to help. Well, that certainly is not going to hurt.
And again, is he going to be lined up as D-Law over him or Randy Gregory? But Trent Williams, you know, at tackle will take one of those guys. Can the other one get around? And with the speed that Micah Parsons has coming from the middle, you don't have to show blitz. He can get there on the delay because he's got that kind of speed.
He's got that kind of speed, and it's very difficult for somebody to pick him up when he does blitz like that. I would like to see that a little more from the defense and see Parsons in that backfield a little bit more this game than I've seen him in the past with the other two guys healthy.
Well, and you talk about healthy, and again, the Cowboys are healthy coming into this. All the guys they were missing because of COVID, all the guys that were dealing with little stuff. I thought it was interesting this morning when Mike McCarthy was on R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and Rudy J, as he is every week. He actually said this is the healthiest he's had a team heading into the playoffs in his entire coaching career.
Yes, clearly, it's the health of our team is definitely is higher than probably most of the teams I've coached in the playoffs. So yeah, no doubt. I think just the plan that we had and frankly being conservative throughout the year has served us well. And, you know, I really like the way our guys have really stayed on top of it and, you know, the rotation and owning their role and not getting caught up in playing 50 plays as opposed to playing 35. So I think that's really served us well.
You know, and again, that is such a key for this football team because they haven't been healthy for a good part of the season. And, you know, listening to that entire interview, and you can as well on the audio vault at sasportstar.com, that slump that they had coincided with so many guys out, weird lineups, weird position group matchups. It's all part of it. Excuses or reasons. You can go either way. But when you look at and you hear him say that, yeah, he's right. When they were going through it, they were going through it on the injury front. They just weren't talented enough to overcome all those injuries. You get all those guys back. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. It's going to be good. But I think a lot of teams are starting to get guys back for the playoffs, and that's good for a football fan because, you know, you want to see, you know, the best on the best. And so I'm looking forward to that football game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't see it as a blowout at all. And obviously, again, I will give you the point that if the Cowboys offense starts rolling, they can put up some points and make it ugly. And if you force Jimmy Garoppolo to have to throw the football a lot, then San Francisco is in trouble. So that plays hand in hand, and then it could get out of hand in a Cowboys way if that happens. However, Jason, I'm going to tell you, as much as you don't trust Greg Zuerlein, I don't trust that offensive line with the exception of Zach Martin. Everybody else on that offensive line is going to have to prove it to me, and that's been the weak link in this football team for this season for sure.
Especially the second half of the season,
right.
which is crazy because at the beginning of the year, even when LC was out, La'el Collins missed 5 games because he tried to bribe the P collector guy, right? And Terrence Steele was playing there at tackle. The early part of the season, didn't that look like one of the strengths of this team?
Well, and it's supposed to be.
Well, and again, you got the one guard, the Connor, who's the guilty of the holding. He's always holding, all right? But what has happened to the rest? I don't know if Tyler Biotish is just worn down or psychologically just messed up. If Tyron Smith is that beat up, and the difference from week 1, week 2 to where he's at now, although not playing last week, maybe he's rested and refreshed, and you get that post season adrenaline shot for Tyron Smith, and he can play like the man we thought he was and is and what we've seen before.
I don't know about Tyron Smith. I worry about him, and I'll say that he seems slower a little bit towards the end of the season, and maybe the refresh, maybe the week off, I don't know. Slower results in that holding penalty.
Yep.
If you get beat, what are you going to do?
Hold.
You're going to hold that guy, and that's what's been happening to Tyron Smith. So he worries me a little bit. But everybody on that offensive line, with the exception of Zach Martin, concerns me, and there's no trust there as far as I'm concerned.
First team All-Pro, Zach Martin.
Yes.
Cowboys have 3 first-team All-Pros.
They do.
Zach Martin, Diggs, and Parsons.
Yep. That's
Pretty
good.
incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
well, one rookie and one, second-year guy,
But-
and then one wily vet.
And if you would have thought that the Cowboys would have 3 All-Pros coming into this year, they would have all been on the offensive side. Nobody from that defensive side. Nobody. I mean, early in the season, you would have thought, well, Dak Prescott might be in that conversation. Maybe Zeke, maybe Amari, obviously Zach, but not a Parsons and not a Diggs.
Wow. You know, Diggs, Trayvon Diggs, so good. How much better would he be with Jalen Ramsey on the other side? How much better would he be?
Stop.
Wow.
Stop.
I can only dream.
Spurs, Cavs, they're playing tonight. The rest of the NFL weekend, we'll get into it because, it's a big weekend for the playoffs. Obviously, a big weekend for grilling. You can't do the normal. You got to step it up. It's playoff time. So get into Tri-County Meat Market. They'll get you ready with some wild card weekend specials. How about Cowboy Cut Choice Ribeyes at $15.99 a pound? French cut choice tomahawks at $15.99 a pound. You want to go fajitas? Their sirloin fajitas on special for $12.99 a pound. They've got wings at $5.99 a pound. Choice brisket at $5.99 a pound. Picanhas, tri-tips at $10.99 a pound. Those English cut short ribs, those cross cuts at $10.99 a pound. Get into Tri-County Meat Market. They've got everything you need, including some great grab-and-go items from K4, including their twice-baked potatoes, which are incredible, the buckaroo mac and cheese, the salsas, the queso, chicken salad, potato salad, cream corn. Those firecrackers are incredible and addicting, and K4 has those best chocolate chip cookies, all available there at Tri-County Meat Market. If you're like Ryan Egel and you need to work in a salad, they've got Maggie Mae's ready-to-go salads for you, a chef salad, a Caesar salad, a kale salad. They got Bowman's Family Farm milks as well. They're locally owned and full service there at Tri-County Meat Market, and everything you need for Wild Card Weekend. And that doesn't include the Pick 5 for $25. You can stock up there. And if you're a military member, first responder, Tri-County Meat Market offers you a 10% discount. They have 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online, tricountymeat.com. We'll go over the rest of the Wild Card Weekend games after SportsCenter with James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. We'll start off with the Wild Card Weekend. Super Wild Card Weekend is what the Dallas Cowboys are involved in as they return to action on Sunday to open up the playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers at Jerry World. Dallas was 12-5 and won the NFC East, while San Francisco won 7 of their last 9, finishing 10-7 on the year and earning a wild card berth. Kickoff from AT&T Stadium is set for 3:30 on Sunday, and it's a game you can catch right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It all starts at 2:30 with the pregame. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to snap their 4-game losing streak when they return to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, with tip-off from the AT&T Center set for 7:30. In other Spurs news, Toronto Raptors are interested in trading for Spurs big man Jakob Hurtles, this according to Mark Stein and other reports. Hurtles was originally with the Raptors before he was traded to San Antonio with DeMar DeRozan as part of the Kawhi Leonard deal. The NBA trade deadline is under a month away, set for February the 10th. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
Was the guy who wrecked the company vehicle distracted because he was too busy making a TikTok video instead of watching the road? He still only has 2 followers, his mom and dad. But now you're hurt and need help. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303 24 hours a day.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Gentlemen, now you can find the best brands and fits for you without even trying. Just follow these easy instructions. Step 1, shop a personalized store that does all the work for you by customizing a selection for your taste and body. Step 2, level up your closet with the best brands and fits with little to no effort. Not trying has never looked so good. Introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle, your personalized store. We're so you.
We travel to see what's around the bend and what we're capable of. And now Capital One's new class of travel card can keep up with you. Introducing Venture X from Capital One. With 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy. Venture X, for those always asking, where next? Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping,
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
for nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Get the latest on what's happening on the NBA hardwood.
Behind the back dribble to the rim and the flush.
Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel. Spurs and Cavs tonight. What, Spurs and Clippers tomorrow night, huh?
Yeah, back-to-back at home.
It's going to be a good game tomorrow night.
We hope.
Well,
we hope the Cavs game is a good game tonight, although the Cavaliers are playing pretty good basketball.
They are. It's one of those, you look at the Spurs and you want to see the progress. And I think the other night was a bit of a letdown.
Yes, it was.
Because the Rockets.
Because they got beat by Houston. You can say it. It's ridiculous.
The Rockets.
It's horrible.
The Rockets.
Oh, my gosh.
It's incredible.
Worst team in basketball.
They are. Although the NBA, the ever-changing COVID rules, according to Shams Charania, the NBA has informed teams that daily surveillance COVID-19 testing for players, coaches, and Tier 1 personnel will not extend beyond Saturday.
So what happens to the poor guy that tests positive today?
Well, I mean,
does he have to sit out 5 days again? I mean, this is if you're asymptomatic, right? And if you're fully vaccinated. And so,
well, what it means starting tomorrow, you know, testing if you're symptomatic or exposed or an enhanced directive by the league. So maybe if you're in a certain area, I don't know. But the whole thing that everybody's been going through, they're running out of bodies.
Well, sure they are. So, you know, when this was tweeted out, I read some of the comments and, you know, there were some people on there. Yeah, it's all for it. I retweeted. I've said, I'm glad that, you know, common sense is starting to prevail. That's good. And I'm happy about that. But then there are others on there that say, well, it's just all about money. The league doesn't care about health and safety of the players. And so, I mean, it's still a very divisive issue when it comes to that.
It is, but I look at over here by the radio station, and we're over off Eisenhower. There is one of those testing sites, and there's one over near where I live, off of 1604, and the people sitting in traffic, sitting in line for hours. But I've noticed here at the radio station earlier in the week, it would go, you know, almost down to the flea market and then around the corner and all the way to Austin Highway. And now it looks like, you know, it doesn't quite make the flea market. So either people are tired of waiting in line or, you know, fewer and fewer people are thinking they need to go get tested. But with everything going on, is it a money grab? Are they worried about this? They're trying to go live their daily lives. And the league isn't going to shut down like it did before. But the idea of all the testing that they're doing, at some point, enough is enough. I've got a friend who has tested so much his insurance says, stop, we're not paying for anymore.
Right. Yeah. And people are, you know, obviously some people are worried about it. They're scared of it. And I get that. And there's no judgment to anybody. I personally am not. You know, I've done what the government says to do, and so I figure I'm going to live life.
Well,
however,
and that's what I've done. I mean, you know,
right.
I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted. Let's go. I've been dodging it. I've never tested positive. I'm dodging it. Got my moves. Take my zinc and my vitamins every day. I'm doing everything I need to do, but I'm going to live my life.
Absolutely.
Do I want people? To get back? Sure. You know, but at the same time, go live your life. And if somebody doesn't want it, that's their business.
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, that's the way I feel. We live in the United States of America. All right. We have the freedom to choose and people can do that. And yeah, that's an argument, I guess, for across the hall. However, what I'm glad of is that the NBA is finally having some common sense. Look, if a player is asymptomatic, if you or I don't have symptoms, we don't have to go get tested.
No.
So why should NBA players who have no symptoms have to get tested every day?
Well, the fear is that the way it was spreading, I could have no symptoms, but still spread it to you and get you sick. So, I mean, I understood when they were doing it, but when you start losing these players, and then at what point do you let them back? And they've changed it from 10 days or whatever to now 4, 5, 6, depending on, you know, the different guidelines. I know what the NBA rule is, but, you know, everywhere is a little bit different. And then you see in the news that, you know, medical personnel, they're coming back a lot sooner. Why? Because there's such a shortage. Everybody is dealing with shortages. And what's the best way to do it? And I think with this new variant, you're sick, but it's not as devastatingly ill as previous variants. And the NBA is a business. So when you know, people, they're worried about, they're a business. Businesses worry about money.
Absolutely. They worry about it. And they need players out there to play. So people buy tickets to go see it and watch it on TV. And so I'm glad common sense is prevailing. If you don't have symptoms, if you are vaccinated, then you don't have to get tested every day. And that's why these guys are testing positive in such large numbers. And I think that's why we're seeing the numbers explode with the general population. People that aren't sick or maybe just a little bit sick testing positive, and then they're having to stay home for 5 or 6 or 10 days or whatever the case may be. And it's hurting business. And man, I'm telling you, you know, medical folks.
Yeah.
Don't we need them?
Yeah.
Right.
We,
if people are sick,
yeah.
we kind of need them. Right.
Yeah.
And they've gone 2 years without having to test and without having to go home and quarantine, and they may have had it, but they're still treating people.
Although the reality is you got asymptomatic people that are testing positive, and that's the concern.
That's the concern.
And having them spread it. But you look at what the Spurs are doing on the floor, with this back-to-back, and speaking of, James Pledger's going to the game tomorrow. He's going to wear a Spurs jersey, too.
Is he really?
He's going to wear a Spurs jersey.
Wow.
It's the requirement to get the tickets that he's getting is he's going to wear the Spurs jersey. You can come borrow a Manu jersey if he needs one. Or he's going to be in a suit and tie and suspenders. It's going to be one of the two.
That's more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't. Don't be that guy at the game. There's plenty of those already there. Don't be that guy.
I'll be wearing black and white, which are Spurs colors.
Yes, as long as there's a number on the front and a Ginobili on the back, shave in the bald spot. You'll be able to. You'll be able to do that. Big assist on that one if things go well for you tomorrow night. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that I realize who you're going with, man. But we'll talk. We will talk about that on Monday.
Will we? Will we talk about it on Monday?
No, we're going to talk Cowboys and Niners all day Monday. Who are you kidding?
I don't know. It may be interesting.
Who scored? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, dude, you're going to get him in trouble.
I'm trying.
And he might not have a date for tomorrow night. Poor Pledge. Now you think your mic went out earlier. It's about to go out again.
Well, it's possible. Jakob Hurtles, Mark Stein reporting that Toronto's interested in Jakob Hurtles. The only one I know that I'm confident won't be here at the end of the year because he'll get traded away by the deadline is Thad Young. Do you think the Spurs move Jakob this year?
Well, it depends on what they get. And when you look at that Raptors roster, I don't see it. I don't know what they have because I don't think Jakob's not a guy that the Spurs are just going to be willing to give away. Thaddeus Young, yeah. You do him a solid. You let him go to a team that's got an opportunity to be in the playoffs and maybe an opportunity to have an NBA Finals run. But Jakob Hurtles, young guy, he's a big man. He's playing. Yeah, he's playing well. He's improved. So he's not a guy that the Spurs are just going to, give away for a hot dog and a Coke, right? I mean, they're going to want something in return for him. And I just don't see what the Raptors have that they would be willing to give up for Jakob Hurtles. And again, Jason, you know this as well as I do, and I love Mark Stein, and I'm sure Mark Stein heard something that the Raptors were interested in Jakob Hurtles. But at the end of the day, of course, every team is probably interested in Jakob Hurtles. But then pulling the trigger and doing something and giving the players necessary to get Jakob Hurtles, that's a whole new ballgame.
Any other Spur that I guess the better question, the better way to phrase it, when the phone rings, who's untouchable in your mind right now?
I don't see anybody as untouchable. Maybe a Josh Primo.
But just because he's so young and he's on a rookie deal. I mean, coming into the year, the only one that I wouldn't entertain was Keldon Johnson. I don't know that I'm still that way.
Absolutely, you're still that way. Keldon Johnson's going to be fine, and he's going to be a big star in this league.
But I could get a haul for him. I can get a haul for DeJounte, but I think Primo, DeJounte, and Keldon are the three guys I'm not entertaining trade offers for. Everybody else, make me an offer.
Well, I tell you what, the way DeJounte Murray is playing, I mean, he's going to be up there in the upper tier of guards in the NBA, and he already is stat-wise. You can look at his stats, and I mean, they're right up there with everybody else. And so, if the Spurs are looking to build, I mean, a point guard is valuable.
Yep.
DeJounte Murray's playing well enough, in fact, at an all-star level. And so, yeah, he's a guy that you got to look at. Okay, we've got DeJounte Murray. He is a guy that we can build around. And we've got some young talent that will develop. Now, Lonnie Walker's a guy that could be expendable.
He's
a restricted free agent after the end of the season.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Lonnie and as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. As we continue here on the Blitz, Final thoughts on this big super wild card weekend here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Thinking about the NBA games tonight, wild card weekend. You know the best place to go watch those games this weekend is at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road. They've got those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, and go hungry. The food at the Rue Pub is fantastic, all made from scratch. They have the best, biggest wings in town, 15 different burgers or so on that menu. They got great salads. They got great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. And, of course, they got all the beers in the full bar, a game room that has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to go watch games this weekend with wild card games on Saturday, on Sunday, on Monday night. You got the Silver and Black tonight and tomorrow. No better place to go than the Rue Pub next to the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go!
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
I like it.
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Get some green cash, money, money, money when you bring us your old or used Kubota equipment. That's dinero in your pocket. Or trade in for a brand new Kubota compact tractor, Kubota construction equipment, or whatever else you might have on your Kubota wish list. Breaking up is hard to do, but we're talking green, baby. So don't miss out on the Ewald Kubota Trade Orange for Green cash offer going on now. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Are you thinking about selling your car? Don't get tricked with 2-minute offers only to spend 4 hours at a dealership. I want you to check out my friends at Car Zeus. It's Rudy J here. Car Zeus is not a dealership, so you don't need to worry about shady sales tactics just to lure you in the door. I'm talking about saving you time and hassle. Simply fill out a form about your car's condition at carzeus.com, and a local agent will text you an offer during business hours. No obligation. Plus, they pay the same day and even provide a courtesy lift ride home. That's carzeus.com.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Everything's bigger in Texas. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel.
Man, I am fired up, Jason. I tell you what, I am fired up, ready for this NFL weekend, my friend.
Oh, well, good, because I thought you were fired up because you just called me an a-hole.
Truth be told, I did on more than one occasion.
Well, and it's an honest mistake. When Pledge and I are talking about our weekend plans, and I turned to Joe, what are you doing tonight? Some dude's got to go to work.
That's not an honest mistake.
It was.
It was not.
It was. We're all talking about our weekend plans. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? You got to go to work.
Yeah. So, yeah. Donkey comes to mind, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing tomorrow night? You got plans?
Tomorrow night. Yes, I do have plans tomorrow night. I will not be working anywhere tomorrow. So I'll be watching football.
Well, here's the great thing, though, about doing sports talk radio.
Yeah.
Is tomorrow you will be working. So if in the middle of the day, say around 3 o'clock, Maggie says, hey, we need to go to Home Depot. You can say, I've got to watch this game. It's my job. See, at Channel 5, she knows those highlights are going to run on Saturday night, never to be seen again.
Right.
But now you've got to watch the games. You know, you got a notepad and a pen, and you take notes throughout the game, what your talking points are. It's work. It's work.
No, I just hope by the end of that Bills-Patriots game, I'll remember everything I watched that day.
That's why you have a notepad.
That's why. Because there might be a beer or two consumed.
Might?
Yeah, there will be.
Might?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You look at the games this weekend. Of all the playoff games, discount Cowboys Niners. Where's the major upset? Like what like we made our picks earlier. We all know who we think is going to win. But if there was an upset, which one would surprise you the most?
So, naturally it'd be either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. I mean, that would surprise me the most. And when you look at the other games, I could see them going either way on all but those two.
And again, we both picked Cincinnati to beat Vegas. Would you be shocked if Vegas ended up winning that game?
Not at all.
Because every year there's always that team that just goes on a run. Could Vegas be that team? I expect Joe Burrow to come in and just have an incredible playoff debut and look like he's winning a national championship, right? I mean, that's my expectation for that Cincinnati team. New England, Buffalo, I picked Buffalo, you picked New England. I don't think either one of us would be surprised if the other team won.
Not at all, no. You know, it's interesting, though, and I want to go back to something you just said. There's always that one team that comes in on a roll. That team is the San Francisco 49ers.
Couldn't that team be the Dallas Cowboys, though?
No, because they're not coming in on a roll.
No, but they get hot at the right time.
The Cowboys?
Of all the teams playing this weekend, so let's not include Green Bay or Tennessee,
right?
The one seeds. Of all these teams, when you look at both offensively and defensively, when kicking on all cylinders, and we've seen each of these teams have those games where they just look like world beaters, whether it be a Kansas City Chiefs team or a Tampa Bay team or a Dallas team that look unstoppable. I don't think you can say that about San Francisco.
Well, I don't know. They've won 7 of their last 9. That's a pretty good record going into the playoffs. Plus, they had a major comeback in a hostile environment against a pretty good defensive football team in the LA Rams.
Well, that's it. But I mean, that game there, when you look at the Rams, Sean McVay had never lost when leading at halftime or something ridiculous. And they were up, they were down at 1.17-0 and came back and won.
Yeah.
Is that more of the collapse by the Rams? You know, obviously San Francisco played great football, but, you know, I look at a team that got themselves down 17. You know, that's on the Rams for not putting them away. You see what I mean? That's a team that didn't know they were going to be playing this week.
Or it is a team that then had nothing to lose. They stayed with what they do well, and they did it well, and they come back and win that football game.
You know, they got desperate against a team that knew nothing in that game was changing their playoff seeding. And so for the Rams.
Of course it did. The Rams had an opportunity for the number 2 seed had they won that game.
Okay, but, they're still hosting. They're still winning the West. They're hosting Arizona. And you look at the Rams and the Cardinals, that game on Monday night, and we'll spend a fair amount of time Monday, I'm sure, talking about it. But, that game, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of those teams won. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of those teams got on a roll, especially with some of the bodies that Arizona's getting back.
Well, I tell you, now, is DeAndre Hopkins coming back at all, or is he done?
Depends on what you read.
Yeah.
I mean, and he could be a difference maker if they get by round 1.
Absolutely, he could be. I mean, you've got a guy like that is arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yeah, I mean, he makes a huge difference.
And I look at a kid like Kyler Murray, he just wins everywhere he goes. Can he win at Arizona?
Well, I don't know. They've got to go to L.A., which, and again, that could be a more of a home crowd. The Cardinals are actually better on the road than they are at home. So, I don't know. Again, it wouldn't surprise me either way how that game goes. The only two that would are obviously Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay, Philly. I really believe that those two games are done.
The only way Pittsburgh wins is if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt in the first quarter or throws 3 interceptions, right? I mean, that's just the only way. With everything going on with Tampa Bay, that might actually work to their favor, this AB crap that brings that locker room together, us against the world kind of mentality.
They're getting Fournette back, too. That's certainly helped.
That will help them a lot. But Philly... you're right. I mean, I just, Tampa Bay would have to have Tom Brady throw 3 interceptions, and that ain't going to happen.
Well, I don't know. It has happened. He's not opposed to doing that from time to time, so that could happen. But, again, I don't see it happen. I mean, when you talk about the playoffs, Brady is a playoff machine, and so he just kind of steps his game up in the postseason, and so I look for him to win that game easily.
Week 2 of the new Blitz with Joe Reinagel in the books. Make sure if you're at home,
been 2 weeks already.
Watch him tonight at 10 because he'll still be working.
Oh, you donkey, you.
Well, dude, I mean, seriously. At one point, I thought you said you got all this vacation. You were going to take every Friday off.
Well, I need to, but I feel sorry for Vinny. I'm thinking about Vinny.
Don't feel sorry for Vinny. Pledge. He's got the Saturday morning hangover tomorrow morning at 9 from 9 to 11. It'll be Pledge sitting with somebody across the mic. I just don't know who. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for 3. Bang, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep 3 straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, everyone. Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats here. When you bring a package of our smoked sausage home, keep it simple. It's handcrafted in small batches and fully cooked, so you can just heat it up and enjoy. My favorite way to eat it is on a bun with mustard.